execution.
You're listening to a Good Karma Brands radio station, 100.5 ESPN, WTLX, Monona, Madison.
Broadcasting live from the Everlight Solar Studio, this is your Metro Kia of Madison Sports Center.
Good morning, Madison and streamers everywhere. I'm Jesse Nelson. Sports Center brought to you by Ho Chunk Gaming Madison, home of smoke-free slots and the highest payout percentage in the area. Ho Chunk Gaming Madison, more spins, more wins, more fun. Breaking news on ESPN Madison, brought to you by Metro Kia on the east side of Madison. And do we have some breaking news? Joe Barry is out as the defensive coordinator for the Green Bay Packers. NFL Network's Tom Pelissero first to report the news this morning. Reactions continuing next on Wilde Tausch and all day long on ESPN Wisconsin. That includes with Greeny from noon to 2, with Kyle Bruston-Nortman from 2 to 4, with Rutledge and Hamilton from 4 to 6, with Mr. Irrelevant with Alex Strope on the ESPN Madison YouTube channel starting at 12:30. But that's not all they're reacting to. Adrian Griffin out as the Milwaukee Bucks head coach yesterday. Reports, including from ESPN's Adrian Wojnarowski, that conversations are ongoing with Doc Rivers to take over as the Bucks' new head coach, although that is not official as of yet. And the Brewers have a first baseman to play every day. Rhys Hoskins, a 30-home run hitter for the Phillies in 2012. 2 years, $34 million.
When breaking news happens, ESPN Madison has it covered. Breaking news on ESPN Madison is presented by Metro Kia of Madison. Three-time Wisconsin Sports Writer of the Year, Jason Wilde.
Is there anything anybody loves more than agreeing with Tausch?
Packers Hall of Famer Mark Tauscher.
I got a hunch this isn't going to be concise either.
Broadcasting live from the Everlight Solar Studio.
I would say that you are pretty easygoing. You're actually probably more easygoing than I am.
This is Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin.
Well, you're not easygoing at all.
Hey!
On 100.5 ESPN, the ESPN app, and Wisconsin On Demand.
It is the Wednesday edition, the breaking news edition.
Oh, baby, now this is some breaking news.
So yesterday, after we went off the air, the Bucks fired Adrian Griffin. That's not really our lane as a program.
You know what's always tough is the Griffin and Griffith. Like RG3 and Adrian Griffin, you're always like, is it Griffin or is it Griffith? Do you have that same thing? Or is it...
I always have trouble with Tauscher and Trouser. Isn't that what Money Mike once had an issue with? All right, stop distracting me. The Green Bay Packers, first reported by the NFL Network and confirmed from a source, have fired Joe Barry as their defensive coordinator edition of Wilde and Tausch.
So he is fired, not contract expired.
He was not, as we talked about earlier in the week. I don't know where that was reported originally, that he was in the final year of his contract. I was told that was erroneous. I never said that. I mean, there are things. I mean, I'm not even your favorite beat writer. I don't know why you'd expect me to have that information. So Joe Barry is out. Who will be in? I know who Tausch wants. We'll talk all about that and what this means for the Green Bay Packers today on Wilde and Tausch on 94.5 ESPN Milwaukee, 100.5 ESPN Madison, 1430 ESPN Beaver Dam. ESPNWisconsin.com, the ESPN app, your Alexa smart speaker, streaming live video, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and, of course, everything you need on WisconsinOnDemand.com and the Wisconsin On Demand app. I'm Jason Wilde in Green Bay, where the news broke this morning. Jesse Nelson is in the Everlight Solar ESPN Madison studios, and from his undisclosed location, He said that he still thought this was going to occur. He is the Packers Hall of Famer. He's Mark Tauscher. So, Tausch, this was what you anticipated being the end game here, is it not?
Yeah, and I think this one wasn't like when I picked the Packers to go to the playoffs and to beat Dallas and then to lose to San Francisco. That's not in the same vein from a prediction standpoint. But this was one of those. It felt like, and I don't like saying this, but it was a dead man walking scenario. Didn't seem to matter because I think a lot of Packer fans were nervous after that Carolina debacle and that when Matt LaFleur did not fire Joe Barry. But you picked up on this, and I'm sure all of your beat buddies did too, the resignation and the defeatedness that Joe Barry approached the stage with, talking about his family. There obviously were some pretty tough conversations throughout the season. And I think for Matt LaFleur, there's a point, too, where I think you're almost helping out others by doing this. This is a spot. Joe Barry is in a no-win spot. He has been put in, his group has not been as consistent as he would like, but we act as if he has been the worst defensive coordinator in the league. He hasn't been. It's one of the things, there are struggles that this group had, but they did finish top 10 in points allowed.
In scoring, yep.
They did finish the season strong. Was there a lot of things that bothered me? Letting teams run the football the way they did, and some of the soft coverage on third down, all the things that, trust me, we've heard on Packers, post-game shows and Mondays after games. All of that stuff is true, and I just think what you're always looking for is don't give players excuses. Don't give your coaching staff excuses. Make your own breaks. And that was why I thought last year when Matt LaFleur didn't even think about doing anything, it was, oh, boy, you're kind of rubber stamping what you're doing. And it was obvious to me Matt LaFleur didn't like what they were doing. They made Joe change his approach. That's Joe's approach. So I think it was a necessary thing. I think we preemptively polled yesterday, and it was dang near Canyon-esque last time I checked, that people wanted Joe gone. Sometimes it's just good to have a new voice and a new direction with this new era of Packer football, and I think most Packer fans are pretty pleased that this is the direction that Matt LaFleur went.
So that poll that Tausch is referencing, it was a very simple question. Do you want Joe Barry to return as the Packers?
Did you capitalize you?
Jesse did, yes. I noticed you did that in the text, which I was pretty proud of.
Yes, that's the new thing that we do here on WT.
One step closer to him posting his own poll.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
I'm gaining.
So the poll is still running. The decision has been made. But with 926 votes, do you want Joe Barry to return as the Packers defensive coordinator? Yes, received 5.5% of the votes.
Woof. That seems
94.5 ESPN Milwaukee said no, we do not want him back. All right, and he's not back. The Packers have fired him. They are now in the market for a new defensive coordinator. I want to get calls on this.
It's just weird to me, the amount of joy people take. There's no other profession outside of politics that this is the case. Like, if you got fired today from the State Journal, is there a bunch of people like saying, "Thank God, now we get more Polzine"? Like, is that how people are reacting?
I don't think there's no.
I don't get.
There might be a few that. Oh, I guess Matt LaFleur's press conferences will be shorter. But I don't. I would hope that there wouldn't be too many people celebrating. I do want to get to this because first of all, I agree. And look, you played in the league for 11 years. This was my 28th season covering this team. We do not rejoice in people losing their jobs here. Now, can we say that this is the right decision? Yes, and both of us agree that this is the right decision. So we're not celebrating someone losing their job, and he is a human being. It does suck to get fired, and we acknowledge that. So we're not happy that he lost his job.
I'm gonna miss his Thursday pressers and explaining things.
Yeah,
to him.
I can't wait. I don't know if the next guy's going to explain to me what YAC stands for, but
I'll
hopefully.
tell you what, if the guy I want gets in, it's going to be good stuff.
All right, we will get to that. Now, I wanted to get to this first because I went back in the archives because I'm finishing up my story for Madison.com so people can read that shortly. But I went back. You know, they interviewed 9 guys back in early 2021.
Okay, let's go through the list.
Thank you. That's exactly what I'm going to do. They interviewed Joe Barry, who got the job. They interviewed then University of Wisconsin defensive coordinator James Leonard, who was offered the job, chose to stay at Wisconsin. Of course, as we know, he took over as the interim coach when Paul Christ was fired.
Job out of that. Yep.
Briefly. Then was passed over for Luke Fickell and now spent the past season as a senior assistant to Brett Bielema at Illinois. Here's what I thought was interesting. Some of these other guys that were interviewed. Jerry Gray was on the Packers staff. He stuck around for one more year. He clearly was not happy. He spent last season with the Atlanta Falcons the last 2 seasons. So he has been there.
So he's available.
So he would be available. He was the assistant head coach. But there are some younger names on here, and a bunch of them are defensive coordinators elsewhere. So what I think is interesting about this is Matt LaFleur interviewed some pretty darn good candidates.
Like who?
He didn't choose them, though, which then you can ask questions about the wisdom of that.
Name names.
I am. He interviewed then Cleveland Browns defensive line coach Chris Kiffin. Chris Kiffin.
Kiffin Cousins.
Monty Kiffin's kid. Probably Monty Kiffin's kid, right?
I need to do further research on that. He interviewed Philadelphia Eagles defensive line coach Matt Burke, not the former Badger. He is now the Houston Texans defensive coordinator. Kiffin works for Burke as the linebackers coach in Houston, and Houston had a really good year defensively under
so
DeMeco Ryans.
Kiffy.
So
you're thinking a little Kiff dog.
That's why I put him first. Now, some of the others that interviewed. Ejiro Evero, who was a Packers defensive quality control coach. He was a Rams safeties coach at the time. He was Hackett's defensive coordinator in Denver in 2022. He was the Carolina Panthers defensive coordinator this past season. He's been getting some head coaching interviews. If he doesn't get a head coaching job, he has history with Matt LaFleur. He has history with the Packers. He was the guy I thought they should have hired instead of Joe Barry when Jim Leonard turned them down. So I may be hinting at who my pick would be. Now, I do know that the Panthers blocked him for interviewing for another defensive coordinator job elsewhere. So I don't know what that means for his availability. All right? Another one who was interviewed was the New Orleans Saints defensive line coach and assistant head coach at the time. His name was Ryan Nielsen. He was the Falcons defensive coordinator this year. He's the new Jacksonville Jaguars defensive coordinator now. So all these guys got defensive coordinator jobs. I'm not saying that any
half of them got half of them didn't even keep on. They got fired.
Well, I mean,
Carolina got fired. Falcons got fired.
Their head coaches got fired, and that obviously puts them in that
Let me
spot.
tell you something. I understand that. That's all cute and great, but that doesn't you act like that's like some badge of honor. It's not. The guy I'm nervous about, and I think that is going to be at the top of old boys' list, is the old coach of the Chargers.
Brandon
Staley. I think he will be top priority for Matt LaFleur, if I'm guessing. they have a relationship, right? Did they not have some type of relationship with the Rams and McVay and
So
all
Brandon
that stuff?
Staley, who was fired mid-season by the Chargers, was the Rams defensive coordinator in 2020. That was after LaFleur obviously had left. Before that, he was with the Broncos in 19 under Vic Fangio. He runs that Vic Fangio scheme. Before that, he was with the Bears as the outside linebackers coach under Fangio from 17 to 19. So he has not crossed over with Matt LaFleur on any staff.
Okay.
So maybe that
I
makes
just
you feel better
like
because you don't want him.
I feel like he's somebody that Matt's going to look at. So do we agree he's going outside to hire somebody here? He's not bringing anybody on the staff, because I think you brought this up when everybody was calling for Joe's job. There's nobody in place to do it, which I said is a huge indictment in itself, that there isn't anybody else on the staff. I want a bunch of up-and-coming people that are ready for that. Mm-hmm. And the fact that you didn't have that was, to me, a glaring, what the heck are you doing?
Right.
So is it fair to say you don't think there's anybody on this staff that even gets an interview for this job?
No, I think he'll probably interview. I mean, the fact that he interviewed 9 people the last time tells you that he is going to cast a wide net. Wouldn't you agree? And
I would agree.
And so I would think that just in the interest, too, of staff harmony, if there are guys that you would like to keep, the messaging that you would want would be, hey, I really value you. I'm going to give you an opportunity to interview for this job. If it doesn't
I'm gonna
work,
give you a fake interview.
well,
No,
maybe
I'll
not
give you a fake
fake,
interview.
because if you give them the opportunity, maybe they knock your socks off, and you're like, you know what?
Sure.
Right? I mean, again, Evero went from being a quality control assistant in 16 to being a defensive coordinator, and now he's a head coaching
Might be
candidate.
a head coach this cycle.
Right.
He might be a head coach this
So
cycle.
things can happen quickly for young coaches, especially today.
Sure, and that's I think that's smart by Matt. I don't think that's going to be the hire, though. Obviously, aggressive play is going to be at the top of Matt's list. That's something that I think drove him a little bit crazy. Mm-hmm. How you match that up with the personnel, does that mean you're going to change? And I know this is something you really get a kick out of, that 3-4 or 4-3 front. And
2 down linemen.
Jason, when you have 2 down linemen and you have 2 others, learn what the hell you're doing. I don't think we'll have to worry about that. I don't know when I want to reveal who I want to be hired. I think I'm going to wait. I might wait until they actually hire him. I think there's a
I thought we were doing that next.
Yeah, I'm not going to do it. I just told you I'm going to tease it.
You can't wait to reveal who you think they should hire until after they make a decision on who they hire. That's like cheating every aspect of the system of the game.
I'll say this. And this is never going to happen.
Wait a minute.
I don't know.
Stop what you're doing. I don't know what you're doing.
You don't even know what I'm doing.
I don't.
You don't know what I'm doing.
That's part of the problem, actually, at the moment, is that I have no idea what you're doing.
Most problems we have around here, actually.
How would you guys grade Joe Barry's tenure as the Packers DC? What grade are you giving him?
Squirrel. Can you?
There's no squirrel.
All right. It's 9:17. I would like you to tell people about someone who we would never get rid of.
Squirrel's not a grade, Jason.
Yes, he's just full of energy today. So, here's what's happening. I'm going to dictate now what we're doing. Dictatorship here. Tausch is going to tell us about Pella. We're going to come back. We are going to grade Joe Barry's tenure, and we are going to set the stage for who we want as the next defensive coordinator. You are not going to wait until they hire someone else to proclaim who you would have rather had, which I don't know why you would do that.
I'm not going to do that. What I'm also not going to do is to keep letting money flying out my windows. I love this time of year when the weather outside is frightful. Well, my energy bill is delightful, and yours could be much more delightful if you make that switch to Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin's energy-efficient windows. You keep the cold outside where it belongs. Don't let those $5 bills fly out and flutter away into the wilderness. Help kick the January blues when you choose to book by the 31st. 0% interest, 36 months. For 36 months. Yes, you heard that right. No interest for 36 months if you book by January 31st, which we're a week out. We are a week out. Visit PellaWI.com today to learn more. Certain restrictions do apply.
What do you give as a letter grade for Joe Barry's tenure, 3-year tenure as the Packers defensive coordinator? We'll give our grades next. It's Wilde Tausch.
This is Wilde Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Call Gina Della from Pella today, 855-PELLA-WI, and online at PellaWI.com/radio.
Ben Brust here to tell you about the Princeton Club. I joined the Princeton Club because I was looking for a place I could invest in my health, and the environment and the community I have felt has made it so easy for me to incorporate it into my everyday life. It doesn't matter where you're at in your fitness journey because they have something to offer everyone. It also goes beyond fitness. From the moment you walk in the club to the moment you walk out, there is a togetherness felt throughout the members and staff that keeps you going for your better tomorrow. Don't wait any longer and get started on your fitness journey today at PrincetonClub.net. That's PrincetonClub.net.
You'll notice that some jewelry stores in the area are giving big, deep down discounts, as much as 60%. But you know what they're doing, don't you? They're just marking it up to mark it down. That's why for over 30 years, Chalmers Jewelers has offered you truth in pricing. You will always find great value on unique custom jewelry at Chalmers Jewelers, either in-store or chalmersjewelers.com.
Chalmers Jewelers in Middleton
and Madison.
To those who've ever dreamt of their perfect event, those dreams are worthy and they are possible. Hi, it's Jeffrey from Celebrations Entertainment. With hard work, passion, and great music, we will make your event dreams a reality. Every event is a labor of love with one-on-one planning, customization, and flawless execution. Bringing your event to life is what we do. For a fun, memorable event, visit celebrationsentertainment.com. That's celebrationsentertainment.com.
ESPN Wisconsin's Mark Tauscher here for my friends at Kohler Services. Well, you thinking about updating your bath or shower? Turn to Kohler Services for end-to-end bath and shower remodeling, where Kohler design consultants and installers do the work for you. Family-owned for 150 years, Kohler is your Wisconsin manufacturer providing care for life. Start enjoying your bath or shower right now with a special offer. Visit KohlerServicesWI.com to request your free quote with fast, professional installation always included. That's KohlerServicesWI.com.
Breaking news on ESPN Madison is presented by Metro Kia of Madison, Madison's trusted Kia dealer. Stop into Metro Kia on the east side of Madison or visit metrokiaofmadison.com.
ESPN Wisconsin's Mark Tauscher here for my friends at Kohler Services. Well, you thinking about updating your bath or shower? Turn to Kohler Services for end-to-end bath and shower remodeling, where Kohler design consultants and installers do the work for you. Family-owned for 150 years, Kohler is your Wisconsin manufacturer providing care for life. Start enjoying your bath or shower right now with a special offer. Visit KohlerServicesWI.com to request your free quote with fast, professional installation always included. That's KohlerServicesWI.com.
The NBA season is going strong, and there's no easier way to get in on the action than with Underdog Fantasy and their Pick'em game. Fantasy sports, real money. The way to play is simple. Pick between 2 to 5 players, select higher or lower on player stats, and if the picks hit, you can win up to 100 times your money. Underdog Fantasy is legal in Wisconsin and a ton of fun to play along as you're watching the Bucks play. It has become a big part of my game watching routine, and now I have the ability to win some real money while rooting for my favorite players. You can see how easy it is to play, and getting started is even easier. Go to Underdog Fantasy's easy-to-use mobile app or visit UnderdogFantasy.com. Sign up with promo code KBN, and Underdog will double your first deposit up to $100. Plus, you get a special pick of higher than 0.5 total yards to use on your first pick'em entry. That's promo code KBN. Must be 18 plus and present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit ncpgambling.org.
Waiting to see a general surgeon? With Stoughton Health, it's always easy access, with most appointments within a week. And with over 160 insurances accepted, you're covered and in good hands. For more information, visit stoughtonhealth.com. Stoughton Health, creating excellence together.
The Milwaukee Bucks, the Cleveland Cavaliers.
Works it to the corner at the horn. The three from Lopez finds the bottom of the net.
Tonight on Madison's home of the Bucks, 100.5 ESPN.
Tausch, you were trending toward, if the NFL hadn't worked out for you, you were going to become a teacher, right?
Yeah, that was part of the plan. Yep.
Do you think you would have been an easy grader or a hard grader had you gone into the teaching realm instead of the 11 years in the NFL realm?
So I would have been an easy teacher up to a B, and then you got to earn that A.
Okay.
I would not have wanted to take your class.
I wouldn't want you in my class. So it would
fair.
Well. Works out for everybody. All right. The reason I asked.
Why would you want to be in my class, Jesse? What?
I feel like I feel like I would have to advocate for an A on every assignment, and it would take like an hour after school talking to you, and be like, "Hey, Mr. Tauscher, I think that." You gave me a B on this, and you would sit back, you'd have your apple, and you would, and why do you think you get it? And you'd be all smug behind the desk. And
he's eating his apple. That's a good callback there. I like that. That was good.
Yeah, there would be a lot of smug. Like you would really. It wouldn't be earning the A. It would be like
here's the deal,
and convincing.
Jesse. I wouldn't be that way but you would be a total teacher's pet wannabe and always trying to that's how you would operate, and I would push back on that.
I was a great student.
You did your work and handed in. It was good work. You get an A. But you'd be sitting there and say, "Well, Becca had this, and my dog wasn't feeling good, and I had this." And
I wouldn't be married in 7th grade. What are you talking about?
I didn't say I was teaching 7th grade.
Well, what are you teaching?
I don't know.
High school
I know
history.
you would have been a pain in the butt because you would have been trying to figure out ways to get good grades without putting in all the work.
Without earning them.
Is that fair?
Exactly.
No,
yeah, shortcutting your way to good grades.
I didn't learn shortcuts till well after school.
Well, you've learned them well at this point. All right, so the reason I ask is we're going to grade Joe Barry in his 3-year tenure as the Packers defensive coordinator. And I do think that it's worth pointing out, as you did in the first portion of the program, they did finish 10th in the league in scoring defense. Now, they had 5 teams on their schedule that were playoff teams. 5. The Detroit Lions, who they split with. The Los Angeles Rams, who started, I think he called it by the wrong name yesterday, Brett Rippon at quarterback. I think he said Luke. Which underscores how much of a unknown they faced that day when they held them to 3 points, which certainly helped their number there. The Steelers, which was a quality win for the Steelers there. The Lions again. The Kansas City Chiefs, which was a good win.
Mm-hmm.
The Tampa Bay Buccaneers, which was absolutely horrible. So those were the games against playoff teams. The Packers finished 10th in the NFL in scoring defense this past season. Before you formulate your grades, Professor, would you like some other statistical information, or do you feel like you don't need any in order to grade him?
No, I know what grade I'm going to give him. And I see all the stats as DVOA and the rush yardage against and all of the stuff that is in play. And I don't think he was as bad as everybody thought. And people have always looking as a scapegoat to find the defensive coordinator, even in games that's not the case.
Yeah, 9th in the red zone.
There were plenty of what did you say, red zone?
They were 9th in the league in red zone defense.
That's pretty good.
17th in total.
We'll take anything
defense.
top 10. Mm-hmm. The defense could be better. It could be more aggressive. He deserves a big, middle-of-the-curve C. There's nothing great about what he did. I didn't think anything was like outstanding. He didn't create enough turnovers. That would be the biggest thing I'd say.
23rd in the league with 18.
Him. That's the biggest, I think, weakness. They had 1 year where they got hot and had a bunch of turnovers. But it wasn't as if we were just mishmash. But I ask you this. Did anybody think at the end of that San Fran game that we were going to get a stop there?
No.
How many fans actually felt like we'd get a stop? Therein lies the problem. And whoever called, just a great call the other day about the Josh Hader, Mariano Rivera close-up shop bid.
Mm-hmm.
I never felt like we get a lead and we'd close up shop. And you forget on the Super Bowl run, close up shop, close up shop, close up shop, close up shop.
Mm-hmm.
3 of the 4 games were close up shop games. The ball needed to be you needed to close up shop. And this group, you needed to close up shop. For as much as you want to say Jordan struggled in the fourth quarter, and he did, you close up shop, and you're flying to Detroit on Saturday. It didn't do it. And nobody thought we would. And therein lies, I think, the biggest downer of the Joe Barry era. When the money was on the table in the fourth quarter, you never felt like the shop was going to get closed. You always felt like there was going to be stuff that could come in and ruin your day. And that's what happened. And that, I think, is a big reason why Matt LaFleur is making this change. Because this wasn't like it was some unstructural, like, this team doesn't give up a ton of big plays unless there's missed tackles like we saw Saturday night. So he gets a big fat C from me. He's not getting an F. And for Packer fans that throw an F around, I think you're just being a little too harsh.
So that's what I was gonna ask, is because I'm formulating a tweet so everyone can watch on YouTube or on Twitter. We got a pretty good number right now going on Twitter, so thank you if you're joining us via video there. But if I ask what grade, I'm just going to get deluged with Fs. And I don't think
so.
It's an F.
You think he gets? You think F wins? You put a poll in the field. You think F wins? I don't.
So if we put a poll in the field for letter grades, no one's giving them an A.
Mm-hmm. Nobody.
Right? So we say B, C, D, F. I think F wins. I think people are, like, whether or not he deserves that, I think that's the level of frustration. I mean, remember, we did a poll a couple weeks ago about, are you worried that the Packers' success, which you should have been celebrating, might cause them to keep Joe Barry? And while 55% said no, I'm enjoying the ride, the fact that 45% of fans were worried that the success would lead to him staying as defensive coordinator tells you how eager they were for change. Correct. The preemptive poll, not knowing he was going to get fired this morning, is at 95% wanting him out. So his poll numbers, he did not have a very high approval rating. So even though I agree with you, I think he's a little lower because not enough turnovers, not enough pressure. And by the way, if we want to be critical, is it possible that maybe Goody, who you are the stand for, picked better defensive players with all those first-round picks than the results we got, and it is because they were underachieving in a system? Because I'll tell you this, I think Darnell Savage feels, I mean, it's in my story today in the State Journal, he felt like he was miscast. And I believe he believes that with a different defensive coordinator, he would have had a different 3-year run in Green Bay. Now, whether or not he's right, I don't know. But my point is that I think there's a number of players that felt like we don't know what we're doing. And I think that's the primary reason why they made this change more than anything else.
You might be right about that. I have a hard time, where did Darnell Savage want to go? Did he want to be slot corner? Is that what he's wanted to do?
I think if you look at what he did the last couple of games, where I think he was struggling with being a deep safety coming up to make tackles. I don't think that was his strength, right? I think he wanted to be used in more coverage ways. I think you move him to the slot on certain plays, which is what they did with him in the playoffs. I think that was something that he could have done more effectively.
So you're telling me that Darnell Savage, who is a first-round pick, as a free safety or strong safety, whatever it might be, do you understand how much roaming and things he was able to do? And by the way, he had a pick six in one of the playoff games. He had another pick six he dropped. You want, as a player, put me in position to make plays. You're telling me Joe Barry didn't do that for Darnell Savage?
I think that's what
occurred.
You're
telling me?
Yes. I think...
Okay, well, I don't buy it.
Well, wait a minute.
Sorry.
Wait a minute. I think for the vast majority, he didn't. And I think if you look at the last two games they played, after Matt LaFleur got more involved defensively and everything else, I think that would be an indicator to me that that was one of the changes that we saw and how he was used. Look, I'm not saying that he doesn't bear responsibility for how his 5-year tenure went with the Packers. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying that I think he and other players believed that with a different defensive coordinator and the same talent, they would have been better. Now, you've been in locker rooms more than I have as a player. You would say, yeah, there's guys that think that all the time about whatever position they're playing, right? They always think that if the coach used me right, I'd be more productive. I'm not saying that that's the only thing that factored in there. I'm saying that I think there were a number of players that were skeptical of Joe Barry. But then again, there was a time where there was a time when they went to Mike Pettin and complained. Now, Mike Pettin responded by making changes, if you recall, in 2020, that made things better. So take that for what it's worth.
Yeah, you better get this hire right.
That I agree with 1,000,000%. Right.
And I'm not interested in acquiescing to one player. Now, I want to get somebody that's going to get me Rashawn Gary being a dog and letting Quay Walker eat and turning him into the guy that when you drafted him in the first round he is. And getting Jair Alexander to be fully engaged and being a dog. Those are the things
I agree with everything you said there.
And let Kenny Clark keep doing Kenny Clark things. That's what I'm interested in. I'm not interested in, I was miscast here and I was miscast there. Those are excuses. Can there be some truth in it? Absolutely, there can be. Those are things you work out behind the scenes. But I just have a hard time. Part of your job is to come make tackles. You're a safety. You're going to have to make open field tackles. I'm sorry. That's part of the deal.
I agree. It is part of the deal. And he got himself benched.
I'd much rather run keep passes. You know what? I'm going to grade out really well if I run 150 keep passes a game. I don't want to have to block on 3rd and 7 when they run stunts and blitzes and they got fast guys. Oh, that doesn't really suit my game. I'd rather run keep passes. Where are you going to do this?
Now, wait a minute. Don't get mad at Darnell Savage. I was just using him as an example. But every time anyone fails as a group, it is a group effort. And the players are responsible too. What I was trying to get at, though, is
Do you look at this defense this year as being a failure, though? Do you?
No, I don't give them enough. No.
Guys.
But he got fired, so ultimately it's viewed as a failure. Otherwise, you don't get fired. So all I was driving at there, and I want to get to calls and I want to shift gears, but what I was driving at there is you can't sit here and keep saying they had 8 first-round picks and be a big, huge believer in Goody, right? Because, look, he had a great draft class this year.
Last draft classes.
I'm not sold on Devontae Wyatt. I'm not sold on Quay Walker. I'm not sold on Christian Watson yet.
Look at Devontae Wyatt's stat line for the year. It's pretty good.
Are you sold on him? Is he outstanding?
I'm not sold, but
I like Carl Brooks better than I like
him.
Devontae Wyatt.
You like what?
I like Carl Brooks more than I like Devontae Wyatt.
Well, listen, no, don't be stealing my guy.
I'm stealing your guy. I'm telling you.
You kind of are.
All right.
Carl Brooks is my guy.
How's Smitty doing?
Goody's your guy.
Smitty's struggling.
My point, we need to break. My point is is that if you are a Goody stan and you believe in his evaluation of players, and these 8 first-round picks, most of whom were drafted by him, and I know Eric Stokes missed a bunch of time, we know the Jair story, all that other stuff. But the bottom line is, if you believe in his evaluation, then you have to wonder, with one of those other 9 candidates that they interviewed, if that group would have played better than they did during the 3 years that Joe Barry had them.
Does Brian Gutekunst, since he is bringing the groceries in, what say does he have with Matt LaFleur on who this next coach is going to be?
That is certainly something we can also explore. I want to get to calls as well. 844-770-3776, 844-770-3776. Joe Barry is out as the Packers' defensive coordinator. As far as I can tell, that is the only change for now. They did not clear out their staff. It is Joe Barry, and then we'll see how things unfold from here. But Joe Barry is out as the Packers' defensive coordinator. He will not return
F is not
for a 4th season.
F is not going to win this poll. I'm telling you, it's not.
I'll be honest.
F will not win.
I hope you're right. I hope you're right, because I appreciate you proclaiming that. My point is that would mean that people are evaluating him and not just emotionally saying, that guy was the worst, I hate him, I'm glad he's gone. Because if F wins that, then that is how people are reacting, right?
Fair.
I just hated him. We had to get rid of him. All right. I don't know what that poll is going to do. I know this. I know if I ever need legal advice after being injured, that David Gruber and Gruber Law Office's One Call, That's All would be my first call, my only call. 414-276-6666, 414-276-6666, or go to gruber-law.com to find out more about the firm, about David and his history, and, of course, all the great things they do in the community. Gruber Law Office's One Call, That's All. 844-770-3776 if you want to get in on the conversation. I never gave my grade. I'm going to say a C-, D+. I don't think he deserves a big fat C. I think there was a lot of talent there that was misused. We'll talk about who we'd like to see be the next coach and take your calls. Next, it's Wilde Tausch.
On the air, on demand, on social, on Wisconsin Sports. Serving Wisconsin sports fans. This is 100.5 ESPN.
Even when the weather outside is frightful, your energy bill could be much more delightful. Replacing drafty windows and doors can dramatically lower your energy costs. Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin's energy-efficient windows keep the cold outside where it belongs. You'll help kick the January blues when you choose to book by the 31st for 0% interest up to 36 months. You heard that right. No interest for up to 36 months if you book by January 31st. Visit PellaWI.com.
Certain restrictions apply.
Since 1956, Holman Lindsay Paints has been making paint in Wisconsin for Wisconsin. Because of their commitment to making great paint for Wisconsinites, Holman Lindsay has grown over the years to 26 locations in this great state. Headquarters in Sun Prairie with a state-of-the-art facility, Holman Lindsay has the paint you need to make your job better. From do-it-yourself to professional, Holman Lindsay has paint for everyone. Visit one of their local locations today in Madison, Sun Prairie, Middleton, and Janesville.
Ben Brust here to tell you about why your next work van should be from Mercedes-Benz Sprinter at Zimbrick European. First off, we have versatility. The Sprinter vans offer 16 body types and thousands of ways to customize that space. Number 2, we have reliability. Sprinter's most powerful diesel engines last longer and require less maintenance, spend more time on the road and less time in those bays. Number 3, we have safety. Sprinter's safety technologies include curtain airbags all around, load adaptive electronic stability program, and crosswind and attention assist. Number 4, Van Care Mobile. Our maintenance team can come to you with routine service. Who wants to go in? Let them come to you. They work with multiple trucks on one visit. Use the Mercedes Me Connect. And last but not least, get your Zimbrick Sprinter at Zimbrick European at Rimrock Road and the Beltline, or go online at ZimbrickEuropean.com because they never charge over the MSRP.
Haul away big deals this Thursday through Sunday at Fleet Farm's Truckload Savings Event. Like 40-pound bags of Diamond Crystal Solar Salt, just $4.99. 20-pound bags of KT Woodlands Wild Bird Food are only $5.99. Plus, save on 50 pounds of Sprout Crumble or Pellet Poultry Layer Feed, just $13.99. And set your sights on 35% off Ammo Inc. defensive handgun ammo. Stock up on everything you need for everyday life at Fleet Farm.
There's a good chance if you watch sports, you're getting served information about hormone optimization. What does that even mean? Dr. Nestor Rodriguez at Carbon World Health can tell you exactly what hormone optimization means. He will take your blood work and let you know if it's right for you. If you're feeling sluggish, not losing weight like you used to, you're not gaining muscle like you used to, or you just don't feel like yourself in most aspects of your life, go see Dr. Nestor Rodriguez at Carbon World Health. In fact, sign up for the 6-week experience so you can see everything that Carbon World Health has to offer, including hormone optimization. Learn more at carbonworldhealth.com.
Join Wisconsin women's basketball at the Kohl Center on January 27th at 2 p.m. to celebrate National Girls and Women in Sports Day, presented by Kohl's. The festivities start early with interactive kids activities, a special halftime panel, and a 50th season lapel pin giveaway while supplies last. For more information on our National Girls and Women in Sports Day celebration on January 27th and to purchase women's basketball tickets, visit uwbadgers.com or call 1-800-GO-BADGERS. That's uwbadgers.com.
What is a better buying experience? Well, you're minutes away from a better buying experience at Simden Chevy in Mount Horeb. Jim Rutledge here. To me, a better buying experience is a personal experience. That's what Dan and his sales team have set up at Simden Chevy in Mount Horeb. You're going to have the experience that you're looking for. You're going to define what that better buying experience is for you, and they're going to get you in the vehicle that you need and that you want, whether it's new or new to you. So when you're looking for a better buying experience, go to Simden Chevy in Mount Horeb.
Watch every ESPN Madison show live every day. Subscribe to ESPN Madison on YouTube for live video of every show and exclusive content. Just search ESPN Madison.
I say go, baby, go, go, go. Oh, I say go till you can't go. No more, no more. I say go, baby, go, go, go. I've been to a place where the drifters go. It brought me trouble, yeah, it brought me low. Time was flying, but I was rooted in my blues.
Joe Barry is out as the Packers defensive coordinator. We'll take your thoughts, 844-770-3776, and I'll get the BCDF poll in the field, unless Jesse already did that while I was making a couple
Matt
of
LaFleur would give him
queries.
3 years together.
I've got a piece of information here being reported by Adam Schefter that I want to get your reaction to, and then we'll start calls after the break.
I got a feeling it's going to tip. It might tip on who I want as the Packers DC.
I don't think
it's
so.
Not the case.
I don't think it's what you think it is.
Okay.
This is from Rob Domofsky's article at ESPNWisconsin.com. Barry still could remain on the Packers staff in some capacity, a possibility that is being discussed, sources told ESPN's Adam Schefter.
Oh, snap.
Tausch, help me understand that.
No, can't do it. Can't do it. I know Matt LaFleur likes Joe Barry a lot, and I know you like Joe Barry a lot. I like Joe Barry. I've met Joe a few times. Nice guy. Talks about the old days when he was with Tampa Bay, and I played against him, and we had great conversations. Joe Barry, nice guy. But you can't, I don't think that's a good idea. You want to make a break.
No.
You want to have fresh ideas, and you don't want people looking. You don't want Joe Barry sitting there saying, "Oh, I could do that." Whatchamacallit? What's the quarterback's name in Carolina?
Bryce Young.
Bryce Young.
I kept saying Trey. I wanted to say Trey. Bryce Young.
I
held Bryce Young just put up 400 on us. I held him to 330. You just don't want any of that. I don't want any piece of that. I hope that report is not true. Joe Barry should get every nickel that is owed to him by the G&G, and he should go get another job. I would be great with that. Not staying on staff for the Packers. I don't think that's a good idea for anyone involved.
I don't think so either. But again, I think that underscores how much of a difficult time Matt LaFleur has firing people. right? I mean, the fact that they're discussing that possibility, again, Joe Barry knows what he signed up for. And lots of coaches have kids, and they don't want their kids to change. I certainly would not want to get fired and then move to Oregon, and the girls have to start all over at a new school. I get it.
You'd be fine. You'd be fine out there.
I understand.
Family out there. It's nice. You visit there all the time.
It's a little rainy, but yeah, I would agree. But my point is that I get that from a personal perspective, it's hard for Matt LaFleur. But I don't think keeping him on staff is a good idea.
This is a big boy business.
It is.
And you made a tough call, and kudos.
And the right call, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think 95% of Packer fans agree with that. But I don't think any of those 95 would say, yeah, but keep him on as a linebacker coach. Terrible idea.
Yeah. 844-770-3776. We'll get to your calls. I know there's a few of you on hold already. Sorry to keep you waiting. We'll get to you next. 844-770-3776. Lots of comments, too, in the YouTube feed and on Twitter and on text line.
We need to start doing a Digi Day where we Digirupt. I don't know what day that wants to be.
Today's not that day.
No. I didn't say today was, but at some point, I love the Digi Days. Those are fun.
You're a huge Digi guy.
All right, so can we get to who we want to be the next DC?
Yes, at the top of the 10 o'clock hour. We'll start with some calls first. Patience, young grasshopper. I want to remind you can take it to the bank that whatever I have planned, Tausch is probably going to try and change the plans. And if you're taking anything to the bank, take to Associated Bank. Best customer service in the industry, and if you're a Packers fan, there's no better place to be with Packers checking from Associated Bank. You get 10% off the Packers Pro Shop in-store or online. You get your nifty Packers Debit MasterCard, and you get other perks as well, most importantly, the best customer service in the industry. Go to AssociatedBank.com/Packers to find out more. Your calls, 844-770-3776. Next, it's Wilde Tausch.
Like, share, and follow ESPN Madison everywhere. Follow us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok for more great content from ESPN Madison. This is 100.5 ESPN and Wisconsin On Demand.
We tend not to think about right now, but right now in front of us is victory over cancer. Right now, cancer research funded by the V Foundation is leading to better treatments and saving lives. When you give to the V Foundation, 100% of your donation goes directly to game-changing cancer research. Victory over cancer is there for the taking. By you. Donate at V.org. Because today's cancer research is tomorrow's victory.
Don't give up. Don't ever give up.
You, rah. Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin present your Badger Minute. Here's Alex Strofe.
This Badger Minute brought to you by your Badgerland Chevy dealers, proud supporters of Badger Athletics. Go to BadgerlandChevy.com. The 13th ranked Wisconsin Badgers remain in first place of the Big Ten following a road win Tuesday night at Minnesota. The Badgers are now 7-1 in Big Ten play. Head coach Greg Gard after the game.
I think they told me we had 8 straight stops in a row. They get 1 point on the last 5 possessions and made enough plays down the stretch to be able to finish it off. You know, a lot of good things, some better things defensively than maybe we were the other night.
The Badgers return home this Friday to play host to Michigan State at the Kohl Center. Tip-off set for 7 o'clock Friday.
Badger Minutes on ESPN Wisconsin are brought to you by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Schedule an appointment online today at PellaWI.com.
Hey, Drew Scott here, and I'm Jonathan Scott, reminding you that life's better with a home policy from American Family Insurance. They can help you get just the right protection at just the right price and help you save when you bundle home and auto. Kind of like Goldilocks and the Three Bears. It'll be just right for you. We love a custom build. American Family Insurance. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. Visit amfam.com to learn how discounts may apply to you. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
From color-changing alexandrite to shimmering zircon and everything in between at Chalmers Jewelers, you'll find high-quality, affordable, one-of-a-kind pieces. We source straight from the gem cutters and we manufacture in-house from start to finish. As the manufacturer, we believe in truth in pricing. Never pay more for quality and stunning, beautiful jewelry. She's one of a kind, and so should her jewelry be. While others may send your jewelry dreams to someone else to make, with us, your dreams become reality with the help of our custom jewelers, with you involved the whole way. With a staff that has over 200 years of combined experience, why buy from a place that marks up jewelry made by the thousands? When you can buy direct from Chalmers for that one-of-a-kind piece that is better quality, often for less.
Chalmers Jewelers in Middleton
And Madison.
Nelnet Incorporated has document imaging technology from James Imaging Systems, your local business technology partner. Facilities Coordinator Sunday Heidemann, local and partner ring true for you. Why?
They become your friend. They are easy to work with. You get to know them on a personal level, and they're very outgoing.
James Imaging Systems, helping local businesses do business better.
Being a partner, we can collaborate with each other, and we can make the best needs and outcome for our company.
James Imaging Systems, better technology, great people.
Makes my job so much easier that I can contact the people that know the machines, and I know I'm going to be taken care of.
Sunday, anything to say about James Imaging Systems to others?
They're a great team to work with.
Document imaging technology from James Imaging Systems. Call 608-221-3457. James Imaging Systems, your local business technology partner.
Wilde Tausch on 100.5 ESPN is brought to you by Everlight Solar. Save money, save the planet. Everlight Solar.
Give me one reason to steer, and I'll turn right back around. You can see me turning. Give me one reason to steer, and I'll turn right back around. You can see me turning. And I don't wanna leave you lonely. You gotta make me change my mind.
Before we get to your calls, it is now official. The Packers announcing in a 3-paragraph release.
Thank you for your service.
Joe Barry will not return as defensive coordinator for the Green Bay Packers. Head coach Matt LaFleur made the announcement Wednesday. Barry has worked as an NFL coach for 22 seasons, including the last 3 years as the defensive coordinator for the Packers. Quote, "We want to thank Joe for his commitment and contributions to our success the past 3 seasons," LaFleur said. "These decisions are extremely difficult, and Joe is one of the best men I've had the opportunity to work with in this league." End of statement.
Yeah, it's not a shock there. Matt LaFleur loves Joe Barry. I think he feels a lot of affinity to him. I think he's loyal. Those are all great qualities to have when you're an assistant coach coming in. You want that. But I think Matt LaFleur also realizes that in order to move forward and try to be a championship team, this was a move he had to make. And it's obvious to everybody that it was a really tough call for him.
Mm-hmm. Let's get to some of your calls. 844-770-3776. Let's begin with Brian in St. Paul on this national radio program. Brian, good morning. How you doing today?
You're very, very, very wide-reaching, Jason. Don't forget that.
We are.
You reach all. You reach all over the country.
Corners of the globe.
But I'm glad what Tausch just said is a perfect lead-in. In order for this defense to be championship level, they need to drastically improve their talent in the back seven, and that is why I'm in the minority. I know. But I don't think Joe Barry deserved to be fired because I think they are as one of their back seven is at one of the least talented groups I think you could possibly put together. Their safeties are terrible, and I don't care if Darnell Savage thinks he's not being used correctly. I'm sure Joe Barry would say, if you see something, go get it. I'm sure he's not telling him Darnell, if you read the quarterback's eyes and you think you can get a pick, just hang back. Don't worry about that. And I'm sure Joe Barry is not telling Quay Walker that, it's okay for you when the quarterback of the opposing team hands the ball to the running back for you to burst through a hole and make a tackle in the backfield. I highly doubt that is Joe Barry's defensive philosophy. And we're going to be here again a year from now unless this talent is dramatically upgraded in the back seven. Their linebackers, I think, are at best average. Their corners, which on paper to start the year looked pretty good. Are we going to mention that Joe Barry lost his entire starting secondary, basically, when he lined up in training camp, and he had to play Valentine and Rudy Ford and Jonathan Owens? Like, those guys they did admirably at well, but they're not elite players. There are no Pro Bowl players in that back seven. So I just don't understand how – I know it's frustrating, and I was just as mad when they're getting torched by Baker Mayfield, but who on this team can cover a tight end and play the run? The answer is nobody. So can Fred Warner do that? He can. Can Roquan Smith do that? He can. Can Matt Milano from the Bills do that? He can. Where's that guy on the Packer defense? They just don't have it.
Devondre Campbell was allegedly that guy. Some of us said that they thought he had caught lightning in a bottle in one first-team All-Pro season, and the last 2 years, after a $50 million deal, he has not been a Fred Warner. He has not been a Roquan Smith. He has not been a Dre Greenlaw. He has not been those players. And Quay Walker is a first-round pick, and you can say that you see talent there, but we haven't seen it consistently. And whether or not that is how he was used or what his abilities are, he did not have a huge playmaking career at Georgia. I don't know what he's going to become, but we spent the summer talking about all the diversified ways they could use him. He had a pick six in the opener. What other big plays did he make the rest of the year? I don't remember any. Do you?
No. I do not.
So to your point, Brian, and I'm glad you were the first call, I do think there is a conversation to be had. Now, look, I think this is the right decision. Don't get me wrong. This is the right decision that they need a new system, a new coordinator, a new mentality on defense, okay? I'm not saying that I am making excuses for them. But we also do have to have a conversation, Tausch, about the talent. And whether or not, we could say 8 first-round picks, but, Rashawn Gary was not the elite player this year that you wanted him to be. I say it's because he's coming off an ACL, and I want to see if he's an elite player next year. You got barely anything out of your 2021 first-round pick, Eric Stokes, right? Coming off the foot injury, hamstring again. Didn't play well when he did play on defense. That's a problem. You've got your 2018 first-round pick. He missed 10 games, 3 with a back, 6 with a shoulder, 1 with a suspension. I don't think Quay Walker made a big enough jump this season. Whether that's his system or whether that's him, I don't know. I don't care what Devontae Wyatt's stat line was. Your guy, I'm not stealing him, your guy, Carl Brooks, was more impressive to me. So you start to add up these first-round picks, and you start looking at where they were in the secondary. You traded away Rasul Douglas, who was playing the best of anyone at corner. Agreed?
Yeah.
So there are other parts to this than just Joe Barry and his scheme were not good enough. That's all. And I think that is something that they will have to evaluate. They've got a lot of draft capital. They have 2 safeties under contract right now. 2. Benny Sapp III and Anthony Johnson. Those are the 2 safeties they have that are under contract. So they will have new safeties next year, I would bet. But there's a global issue here on that side of the ball, and defensive coordinator is a major part of it, but only a part of it. Who will be the Packers' next defensive coordinator? If Mark Tauscher was put in charge of the search, and based on a tweet I just saw, I think maybe he would have Dan Orlovsky helping him because I think they might be on the same page. We will talk about who we would pick as our next Packers defensive coordinator to kick off the 10 o'clock hour, which we will do after Tausch tells us not who he's picking as defensive coordinator, but who he's picking when he grabs a cold beer with a beautiful blue mountain shining outside of it.
And you know that is Coors Light. No deliberation, no search committee needed for that. Brewed with a 3-step cold process, cold lager, cold filtered, and it is cold packaged because it's made to chill. The mountains, oh, you know they're going to be blue. That's when you know those bottles and cans are cold activated and chilled to perfection. That's why it is Coors Light in my hand when I need a moment to chill. Celebrate responsibly, Coors Brewing Company. Golden, Colorado.
Your calls, our picks for the next defensive coordinator of the Green Bay Packers. Start the 10 o'clock hour, which begins in 2 minutes, so stick around. It's Wilde Tausch.
Don't go anywhere. Another hour of Wilde Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, is coming up next on ESPN Wisconsin, the ESPN app, and Wisconsin On Demand.
Mark Tauscher here to tell you a little bit more about Everlight Solar. We all know that electricity costs are on the rise. That's why you need to talk to my friends over at Everlight Solar. Their local team here in Madison is here to keep it simple. From your no-cost consultation to solar panel installation, the team at Everlight Solar will be with you every step of the way. Not only will they help you save money, but by switching to solar, you're also helping save the planet. Everlight Solar, a proud partner of Wisconsin Athletics. Check them out at everlightsolar.com.
Hi, this is Dave Kane. You're listening to Madison's Home of the Bucks, a good Karma brand radio station, 100.5 ESPN WTLX, Monona, Madison.
Broadcasting live from the Everlight Solar Studio, this is your Metro Kia of Madison Sports Center.
Good morning, Madison and streamers everywhere. I'm Jesse Nelson. Sports Center brought to you by Goodman's Jewelers, the diamond store of Madison for generations. Check them out, 220 State Street and online at goodmansjewelers.com. Breaking news on ESPN Madison, brought to you by Metro Kia on the east side of Madison. And do we ever have a full slate of breaking news to react to today on ESPN Wisconsin? The Green Bay Packers are not bringing back defensive coordinator Joe Barry. NFL Network's Tom Pelissero first to report the news. It has been officially now confirmed by the Green Bay Packers. Barry is out as defensive coordinator after 3 seasons. Wilde Tausch with more reactions coming up next, right here on 100.5 ESPN. The reactions continue all day, not just to the Joe Barry news, but also to the Bucs moving on from head coach Adrian Griffin after just 43 games in his first season as the team's head coach. The Bucs fire Adrian Griffin yesterday. Doc Rivers, according to ESPN's Adrian Wojnarowski, has emerged as the top candidate to replace Griffin, although that is not yet confirmed. The Bucs in action tonight at Fiserv Forum, hosting the Cleveland Cavaliers. Wilde Tausch continues right now.
When breaking news happens, ESPN Madison has it covered. Breaking news on ESPN Madison is presented by Metro Kia of Madison.
Joe Barry is out as the Packers defensive coordinator. Matt LaFleur making the announcement moments ago, thanking Joe Barry for his service and saying that he is one of the best men he has ever coached with in the NFL. Adam Schefter reporting. I'm sorry?
That's a tough deal. I don't want to poo-poo that. And as a head coach, it's, you have relationships, and you always have to keep in mind what's the best thing for your franchise, for your football team. And even if that means getting rid of, you've seen it 100 times. Mike McCarthy had to do that, both in Dallas and in Green Bay. You have to make moves, because sometimes you just need to freshen things up. Things can get stagnant and stale. And sometimes it's just it's not working, and these are people you spend more time with than your family. So I'm sure it's a painful, tough day for Matt LaFleur.
All right, so we've got a few calls lined up on hold. We will get to you momentarily. We want to get your thoughts on this. The poll is also in the field. What letter grade would you give Joe Barry for his 3 years as the defensive coordinator of the Green Bay Packers? I did assume that very few would give him an A, so I did not give that as an option. B, C, D, F are your choices. You're right.
I hope F doesn't win.
You're right. It's not. 7.2% out of the first 180 votes in a minute. 55% D. D.
Okay.
35% C. 2.2% B.
So A would have been probably less than 2.2. Huh?
I'm going to guess that, yeah. So I feel like I made the right choice there. All right. Without further ado, unless, of course, you decide to wait to say who you would have hired after they hire someone else, it is time for you to reveal to us who you would choose as the Green Bay Packers' next defensive coordinator.
So I've thought about this as this thing was unfolding. And I've said before, the defensive coordinator, it's one of the only spots in the league that is more criticized than the head coach in Green Bay. It has been like that forever, and most of it is because the offenses have been really good for most of the time. The coordinators, your quarterback play has been good, so it's kind of an aberration. I don't know any other team in the league that it's like this for. Do you know anybody else where the vast majority of criticism goes to the D coordinator? Fire Dom, fire Petten, and fire Joe Barry. Have you seen it?
God, I had missed that Petten. It had been a while since I'd heard that from you. No, you're right. Yeah. Now, again, I don't know the other 31 fan bases as well, so maybe there's instances of it, but yeah.
All right, so I have a 2 to 3 pronged approach, and I ran this by a couple of people in the NFL circles. No. NFL circles.
Oh,
people
really?
That carry this very highly, and I said, hey, I just want you, tell me where I'm crazy on this. Okay? And unanimously, there was nobody that said I was crazy.
Of course.
Now, is this going to happen? I don't know where Matt LaFleur's head's at on this, but when you're hiring this next spot to take over this defense, which is much maligned, and you are going to get shrapnel fired at you, I want someone that is willing to take the shrapnel and spit it out their teeth and say, bring it. I don't give a rip. I'm an alpha, and I will spit your shrapnel back at you. And our guys are going to bully you, and we are going to be tougher than you.
Okay.
And I want a guy who has done it, has been uber successful doing it, and is not going to take any prisoners.
You're bringing back Dom Capers.
This person works for ESPN right now. He was very close to taking a job last year, and I believe we all want Jimmy Leonard to be involved in some way, shape, or form. Everybody wants Jimmy Leonard. I think what can happen here, I want Matt LaFleur to call Rex Ryan up today and say, are you interested? Who would be on your staff, and can you make sure Jimmy Leonard's a part of it? That's what I want. I want Rex Ryan. You talk about aggressive. There ain't anybody more aggressive. He's got Baltimore roots, which there is from a Packer fan standpoint. You see what Goody has done. He has brought in, what's the guy, Milt from the Ravens.
Milt Hendrickson.
There is, and I like Milt now, there is I want some of that when it comes to the Baltimore mystique.
Okay.
I want some of that. So Rex Ryan, to me, is going to be the alpha dog. He's going to bring his own identity. Old boy ain't going to have to worry about giving up play calling and any of that foolishness that was said the other day.
It's true.
And I think Rex Ryan could lure Jimmy Leonard into the fold. That, to me, as a Packer fan, would get me cranked. That's what I want to see happen. Tell me why I'm crazy.
So you're not crazy. Rex Ryan is 61. He has been out of coaching now.
Looks good, though. Leaned up a little bit. He looks like he's at fighting weight, ready to go.
His last job as an actual coach, as opposed to an NFL commentator, was as the Buffalo Bills head coach. After the 2016 season was when he was let go. So he's been out of football since then, which is not a short amount of time, right? Here's why your idea makes sense to me. First of all, I don't love the fact that he came on our show and sure felt like he was politicking for Mike Pettine's job while Mike Pettine still had it. Remember that?
I do. He didn't like what... Hey, but Jason, he is an analyst at that point in his life, and he obviously had Pettine working for him, knows what Pettine was all about, and he wasn't seeing what was supposed to be, what his defensive principles were with Matt LaFleur. I want somebody that's going to come in there unabashed and take this thing over. I'm not interested in milquetoast or, I'm going to kind of feel my way around. I'm coming in with a bull in a china shop saying, what y'all been doing ain't working. I have a track record of winning when it comes to the defensive side of the ball. Now, he doesn't know anything about offense. We've seen that. It ain't ground and pound time. He is going to come in and have his ideas, and I want him bringing Jimmy Leonard with him. I want I want all of it. That's what I want.
So here's why your intuition is very good. Remember, while they parted ways, Matt LaFleur could have just brought his own defensive coordinator in when he was hired in 19. Instead, he chose to keep Mike Pettine, and they worked together pretty well for a while. Mm-hmm. And he liked Mike Pettine's system. Then they parted ways, and he took a wide approach to who the next guy would be. But he clearly likes that system. And who did Mike Pettine learn it from? Rex Ryan.
Mm-hmm.
Who was he prepared to hire until he chose to stay at his alma mater?
Jim
Leonard. So that all makes sense. I agree with everything you said. As the avid viewer of Get Up that you are, have you heard Rex Ryan intimate that he wants to get back into coaching?
Yes.
Because Dan Orlovsky floated him today as well.
And I'm also looking at it and saying, I think would look at it and say, he's been very complimentary of what this Packers offense has been doing, and he has been very, I don't want to use the term disgusted, but he didn't think very highly of what this defense did, and it wasn't the personnel, it was always scheme. So old Rex can put his, I'm not going to do any foot jokes, he can put his money where his mouth is there and say, I'm going to come and fix this thing.
Well, you wouldn't want to put your foot in your mouth by saying something like that. Some other names that are worth considering, though, beyond the list that we had from the first round of interviews when they hired Joe Barry. And then I want to ask you a question so we can get back to calls. Remember, they did bring in Aubrey Pleasant, who had been a defensive coordinator before. They brought him in as an advisor for a while, and then he got a job with the Rams. He has a relationship with Matt LaFleur, so he actually, I believe, was a Badgers player once upon a time. Okay. So there's one name that might be in the mix. I would be curious if you would be interested in another former NFL head coach that I really like, that has been a very good defensive coordinator.
Belichick? If Belichick wants to come in D.C., I'm on board. I think he'd be great.
Ron Rivera.
No.
That doesn't do it for you?
No.
Okay.
Nope.
844-770-3776. 844-770-3776. We'll get to more of your calls. My last question for you, Tausch, is we all love Jim Leonard. You do, I do. We talk that way every time we talk about him. If you have the opportunity to be the guy to be hired and you turn the job down, if you are Matt LaFleur, do you want him again? Or are you like, hey, man, you had your chance. There's other candidates. Sorry, that window is closed. I'm curious how you would view that if you're Matt LaFleur
I understand.
And if you're Jim Leonard.
I think you can be a grudge holder and pout and whine about it, or you could say, this guy's really good and can help us. And everybody's at different points in their lives. No question you should be skeptical of why would he take it now? He's been out of it for a year. It's close to home. There's a lot of things that are at play. And this is why this is the perfect solution, because Jimmy Leonhard is a guru when it comes to matchups. And you saw it with Wisconsin. The defense was dynamite under Jimmy.
Yep.
Just dynamite. He understands. He brought a lot of NFL concepts to the college game. And Rex has said this. Ray Lewis has said this. I don't need to pump Jimmy Leonhard up. Every Badger fan knows that part of it. So any of those consternations you can have when you're having these conversations with Rex, have those talks, and Rex can be like, Jimmy's coming with me. What are you going to do? No, that's all part of it. You need, as Matt LaFleur is looking at it, you have someone that you know is going to do things the way, in structure of what you want. Is there anyone ever said Rex isn't aggressive enough?
No.
I've
no
never
one has
heard
ever
anybody
said
say
that. No. You're right about that. All right, I want to get back to the
dabble,
phones.
And let's see what happens.
Jesse and I will make our picks for the defensive
Put your foot
coordinator.
in the water. Dip your toes in there. Let's see if he's willing to fight.
Put your foot in the water. Make sure you're wearing your swim shirt when you do it. 844-770-3776. We will get to more of your calls. 844-770-3776.
Like I'm on top of water there.
You're walking on water,
on that?
some might say. Yeah, you're dipping your foot in there. Your legs look really skinny, and I know you have good calves.
I look real thin. That is a great shot of me. I wish that was
very flattering.
I wish that was close.
For those of you not watching on video, you won't get the joke. More next. It's Wilde Tausch.
This is Wilde Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Call Gina Della from Pella today, 855-PELLA-WI, and online at PellaWI.com/radio.
They say love is a universal language. Well, that's definitely true if you're talking about bacon. I mean, who doesn't love bacon? Forget the chocolates. Give the gift of bacon. It's everyone's love language. And you're going to love it that our bacon's on sale right now. With quick hot savings, we're taking bacon down to $2.49 a 12-ounce pack. Limit 2. Savings on bacon? Whoa, that's 2 love languages at once. And we're multilingual like that. Quick Trip. We're saving your bacon.
January means it's playoff time for football. The best teams give their best to win the game. And Metro Kia of Madison is giving their best on these amazing lease offers. Get in a 2024 Kia Forte GT for only $299 per month. For 36 months, $3,400 due at signing, 10,000 miles per year. Or drive a 2024 Kia Sportage right off the lot for only $3,500 down and $499 a month for 36 months. Again, 10,000 miles per year. Get these deals at Metro Kia of Madison.
Big trailers and big opportunity. Since 1962, Stoughton Trailers has been a family-owned and operated business. With competitive wages and excellent benefits, plus growth and advancement opportunities, Stoughton Trailers is an exciting place to grow your career. Join the collaboration, innovation, and dynamic team atmosphere at Stoughton Trailers. With positions now open in production, operations, finance, sales, engineering, supply chain, and more. Go to stojobs.com to apply today. Stoughton Trailers, big opportunity.
To those who've ever dreamt of their perfect event, those dreams are worthy and they are possible. Hi, it's Jeffrey from Celebrations Entertainment. With hard work, passion, and great music, we will make your event dreams a reality. Every event is a labor of love, with one-on-one planning, customization, and flawless execution. Bringing your event to life is what we do. For a fun, memorable event, visit celebrationsentertainment.com. That's celebrationsentertainment.com.
Hey, it's Bobby Portis, and I love playing basketball in Milwaukee. When I drive down the lane, I move fast and make sudden moves to drive to the hoop and score. But when I'm behind the wheel in the driving lane, I control my drive. I don't speed or make sudden movements. Speeding and reckless driving are the leading causes of traffic injuries and deaths in Wisconsin. Do what I do. Control your drive. Don't speed. Don't be reckless. Zero in Wisconsin. Together we can save lives. Wisconsin DOT.
Skilled trade workers are the backbone of every community, and also the Army National Guard. Soldiers trained to keep the power flowing, engines running, and in every other trade needed to accomplish the mission. These soldiers are on the fast track to learning skills that can set them up for success at home with companies looking to hire the best. Their resumes are being built through their paid training and part-time service. Find out how you too can learn a trade profession by visiting NationalGuard.com. Sponsored by the Wisconsin Army National Guard. Aired by the Wisconsin Broadcasters Association and this station.
Listen to Madison Money Guy every Saturday morning at 7 a.m. on 100.5 ESPN and ESPNWisconsin.com.
I like to refer to inflation as the silent killer. It's an invisible risk. It's just the idea that things get more expensive over time. You're going to need milk and eggs when you're in your early 60s and when you're in your early 80s. You're going to get a loaf of bread, and it's going to be more expensive 20 years from now.
Christian Finfrock is the Madison Money Guy. Call him today at 208-1800.
Good Karma Brands is proud to be an equal opportunity employer. Our policy is to provide equal opportunity employment, development, and advancement to all current and potential teammates. If you are an organization that maintains a job bank, provides employment information, or gives job referrals, you may request to be placed on the station's mailing list for future career opportunities. To learn more about careers at Good Karma Brands, please email careers@goodkarmabrands.com.
Hey, it's Evan Cohen, UW-Madison class of 2002. Join me, Michelle Smallman, and Super Bowl champion Chris Canty every weekday morning from 5 to 9, right here on 100.5 ESPN and Wisconsin On Demand on Wisconsin.
Get right to your calls, 844-770-3776. My apologies to Dave in Atlanta who hung up after waiting a while. Call back. Jesse will fast pass you. Let's start with Jeff in Minneapolis as we go back to Minnesota. Jeff, good morning. How are you?
I'm good. Jason, I called in on Monday and talked to Tausch and Jess, and I said at that time, I don't know if Tausch remembers, I said they're going to let go of Barry, and I said my reasoning is I think LaFleur is going to say what got us here isn't going to get us there, and I just wasn't good enough. And you know, you can look at, I'll give you an example, you can look at the game and they blew a lot of opportunities. Was that a championship defense? What a championship defense does is when you got a 21-17 lead and the other team has the ball, they don't let them go 70 yards to score. Mm-hmm. That's not what a championship defense does. Mm-hmm. So I've got three thoughts and then two questions. I think you are seeing Matt LaFleur develop as a leader. I really do. For years, he's been saying, I want an aggressive defense, but he hasn't been seeing what he's been getting. And he's now asserting himself. And I think that's important. I think he's developing as a leader. And I think that's super important. In terms of the defense, there's two things that I want to see from a defensive coordinator. I want to see an aggressive defense, and I want to see a coordinator that maximizes the talent that they have and put these guys that they have in a position to succeed. Not a guy that says, this is my system, you make it work within that system. So those are the two things I was looking at. So I've got a question for each of you. If I can, Tausch, let's say Jimmy Leonard says the only way I'll come is if I can be defensive coordinator, and Rex Ryan is also willing to do it. Then what do you do?
I want Jimmy Leonard as part of it. Yeah, no, I'm good with that. I'd be fine with that. Yep.
So you take Jimmy Leonard?
Sure.
I would as well. I would take Jimmy Leonard as well. And then just to little fun, Jason, this is my question about the quote-unquote Aaron Rodgers question that you asked about the feeling and the development of what LaFleur had to go through. Mm-hmm. Would that question have been any weaker if you left Aaron Rodgers' name out of it?
I think it was important, to be fair to David Bakhtiari, to make it clear on why he was behaving like a malcontent. That was why that was part of it. And I don't think, it would have been fair to David to make it sound like he was a problem for other reasons. Now, whether or not he was, people can debate that. But his biggest issue was his BFF was gone. And if I leave his name out of it, again, LaFleur jumped in because I said the guy's name, but that was not the premise of the question at all. So, and by the way, I know I got a lot of grief for that. His answer was really good. I mean, he admitted that there were cracks in the foundation. You get an NFL head coach to admit that there were cracks, that they had to spackle up. I'm going to take that as a win, because most of the time they don't want to admit to that sort of thing, and he did. Fair?
Anyways, I just wanted to ask you, and thank you very much to both of you. You guys run a great show.
Thanks, Jeff. We appreciate you. By the way, while this is all going on, Woj reporting that Doc Rivers is indeed finalizing an agreement to become the next head coach of the Milwaukee Bucks.
Someone owes CNN.
Oh, baby, now this is some breaking news.
Someone owes CNN Sport an apology. Sounds like they got it right. Just because Woj reported it now, sounds like CNN Sport or whoever that was last night got it right. Jesse?
But CNN Sports isn't even really a thing. Like, we can credit CNN Sports. We don't know who that is. It hasn't been a thing in like 20 years.
Yeah, it was a weird deal yesterday. I don't want to get bogged down in that. They do. CNN is, I believe they also own like Bleacher Report. There's a whole thing there. But all I know is Nick Charles and Fred, who's the other guy? Fred Hickman. God, they were good together.
That was
I enjoyed
fun.
They
Good
were
group.
fun. But I don't know where that came from. Anyway, the Packers.
Why we have to have so much news in a day? Why we got a big offseason
Why it's so
coming.
hard to spread it
Why
out?
don't we not slow down a little bit? It's just nonstop.
Sorry
like,
that
just
the
keep
Bucks
coming at us.
Sorry that the Bucks and the Packers did not coordinate their changes to their staffs. That in the less than 24 hours, the Bucks have fired Adrian Griffin. The Packers have fired Joe Barry. And now the Bucks are hiring Doc Rivers to be their new head coach.
So, Jason, I had a buddy who is very knowledgeable, and he texted
Stitchy?
that this move with Joe Barry doesn't happen unless with what the Bucks thing sped up the Packers' action on their coordinator.
Would you like to explore that next before we get to more calls?
I don't know, because at first I was like, no. Like, nobody's making decisions. Obviously, you listen and you kind of hear what the reactions are to you, but you're not making decisions based on that.
The decisiveness,
Do you buy that?
the decisiveness with which the Bucks acted. It is
Spur
hard
on the Packers to do something big.
No, I don't know about that, but I think again, they're not firing Joe Barry because the Bucks fired Adrian Griffin. But does it give you pause if you're the Packers to say, all right, well, here's this team that just won a championship a couple years ago making a very decisive, this is what we're doing move, and we hem and we haw and we think about whether or not we want to fire Sean Menenga or if we want to fire Mo Drayton. Maybe we need to be a little more decisive, too. Do I think that that's a possibility? Yeah, I think that's possible. I don't think they're firing Joe Barry because the Bucks fired Adrian Griffin. Are they acting more decisively because the Bucks acted more decisively? I don't think so, but I'm open to that possibility. How's that?
Okay. Yeah, I didn't think it was crazy, but I also thought it was a little bit conclusionary. But there is... I'll say this. Organizations, they pay attention to what the other's doing. Hey, they had a great promo event. Oh, that's cool. Maybe we should do something like that. Mm-hmm. Oh, they just fired their coach. Oh, maybe we should fire our defensive coordinator. I don't think it's like that, but there's definitely the fan base is looking at the Bucs saying a couple of things. Well, you really butchered that hire. Right. But you also are decisive in saying this isn't going to be good enough.
Right.
And I think Packer fans have been clamoring for,
yes.
Why we keep doing this when you know it's not good enough?
Correct. That was Jeff's point in his call as well. I know one thing that is good enough. A trip to Quick Trip. Whether you're getting a smoothie or Quickery bread or Karuba coffee or maybe that fresh cow-to-store milk.
Karuba coffee, you know I love that. And you know what else? It's snowy out. You're running kids all over the place. Do you really want to stop at the grocery store and buy all this stuff and then try to figure out what time is everybody going to be home? Take the what are you making for dinner out of the question. Just take the hassle out of planning ahead of your day and head over to Quick Trip. And right now, Mondays you get that whole rotisserie chicken for $5.99. And today is Wednesday. Guess what? $9.99. You get a big old load of tenders. And you know, we love the chicken tenders. I know Jesse just put up the picture of Eleanor wolfing down some of that good Quick Trip chicken. Hand-breaded, jumbo, and makes lunch and dinner an easy decision. You can order ahead for any of these chicken specials, plus you can get pizza and other take-home meals available hot and ready. I love that spicy penne pasta. Oh, baby. It is good. Download the Quick Rewards app from your phone's app store. Select Order Ahead in the app. You can order ahead and take care of the payment before you even get in the parking spot. Orders can be picked up in-store or even brought out to your car curbside. Maybe even Jesse will be sitting in there wolfing down 100 samples, and maybe he'll say, you know what, I'll take it out to your car. Maybe that'll happen. But it just makes your life so much easier with the Order Ahead. And don't forget that Nature's Touch milk to wash it all down. Just $2.99 per gallon with either skim 1 or 2%. Cow to store in 24 hours right now from Quick Trip's dairy facility right here in the great old state of Wisconsin. You didn't like that, Jesse? Pick up a little side hustle.
Jesse, your comments.
How many Quick Trips are there? And you're just going to promise people that I might be sitting around eating samples at the one they happen to be at?
I said
at any given point, and will bring them their milk to their car because they ordered it that way?
I said might. I put might in an asterisk next to it. Might.
More of your calls. And Jesse at a random Quick Trip. Like, where's Waldo? Coming up, 844-770-3776, 844-770-3776. Your call's next. It's Wilde Tausch.
This is Wilde Tausch, driven by Zimbrick Chevrolet in Sun Prairie on 100.5 ESPN. See their full inventory at ZimbrickChevrolet.com.
Even when the weather outside is frightful, your energy bill could be much more delightful. Replacing drafty windows and doors can dramatically lower your energy costs. Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin's energy-efficient windows keep the cold outside where it belongs. You'll help kick the January blues when you choose to book by the 31st for 0% interest up to 36 months. You heard that right. No interest for up to 36 months if you book by January 31st. Visit PellaWI.com.
Certain restrictions apply.
The area's best high school sports coverage is Zimbrick Honda's presentation of Prep Mania.
Offensive rebound, Ligon passes to Dykstra. He's blocked by Garlock. And here we go. Showtime! Marquise Walker throws it down emphatically with two hands in transition.
Zimbrick Honda's Prep Mania is also brought to you by Canopy Wealth Management, Pasquale's Cantina, UW Credit Union, Stoughton Trailers, the GRB Academy, and Stoughton Health.
Since 1956, Holman Lindsay Paints has been making paint in Wisconsin for Wisconsin. Because of their commitment to making great paint for Wisconsinites, Holman Lindsay has grown over the years to 26 locations in this great state. Headquarters in Sun Prairie with a state-of-the-art facility, Holman Lindsay has the paint you need to make your job better. From do-it-yourself to professional, Holman Lindsay has paint for everyone. Visit one of their local locations today in Madison, Sun Prairie, Middleton, and Janesville.
Dash the Dane. That's right, Great Dane Pub and Brewing Company has expanded their delivery offerings with DoorDash. New customers get $5 off your first order of $25 or more. And don't forget, Dash Pass subscribers always receive free delivery. Order delivery today at GreatDanePub.com or on the DoorDash app and get food delivered from the Great Dane closest to you. Downtown, Hilldale, Fitchburg, or East Madison. Great Dane Pub and Brewing Company, Madison's home for craft beer and pub food since 1994.
Okay, if you love playing fantasy sports, do what I do and take the sports action to the next level with PrizePicks, the #1 daily fantasy sports app. Mark Tauscher here, and right now I am in sports heaven. With the football playoffs in full swing and basketball season really heating up, there is no better way to turn all the big games into 100 times your money with PrizePicks. Just select 2 or more players, pick more or less on their projection for a wide variety of stats, and place your entry. It is that easy. You can turn $10 into $1,000 with just a few taps. I love the easy gameplay, quick withdrawals, and a huge selection of players and stat options. And check this out. PrizePicks is the only daily fantasy platform with injury insurance to keep you in the game even if one of your players goes down. Over 7 million sports fans have already signed up, and I'm one of them. So join me and watch your favorite players and get paid doing it. Right now, PrizePicks will match your first deposit of up to $100. Just download the PrizePicks app and use the promo code WI. That's code WI on PrizePicks for a first deposit match of up to $100. PrizePicks. Pick more, pick less. It's that easy.
Sockberry Healthcare is here to help. To help with your shoulder pain,
your knee injury,
that hip that bothers you, with your foot or ankle pain.
We focus on quality.
We focus on results.
And take time to listen.
So that your care is the best care. For you.
You. You. You.
For you. We're here for you.
Sauk Prairie Healthcare Orthopedics. Listening, healing, caring. It's in our nature.
To those who've ever dreamt of their perfect event, those dreams are worthy and they are possible. Hi, it's Jeffrey from Celebrations Entertainment. With hard work, passion, and great music, we will make your event dreams a reality. Every event is a labor of love with one-on-one planning, customization, and flawless execution. Bringing your event to life is what we do. For a fun, memorable event, visit celebrationsentertainment.com. That's celebrationsentertainment.com.
The Milwaukee Bucks, the Cleveland Cavaliers.
Works into the corner at the horn. The 3 from Lopez finds the bottom of the net.
Tonight on Madison's home of the Bucks, 100.5 ESPN.
All right, let's get back to the calls. The Packers have relieved. What do you prefer as a euphemism for fired? Relieved of his duties, parted ways, canned,
parted ways,
dumped, zipped, gassed.
You definitely don't want to use gassed.
Relieved of his duties makes it feel like you're doing him a favor, like he's relieved to no longer be.
I think you might be doing him a favor.
All right. The only reason,
just say fired. Yeah, I wish it was just fired.
I agree. The reason I ask is on our poll question, which is already over 1,300 votes in less than an hour. C and D are a combined 90% of the votes.
It's about where it should be.
2.2% a B, 7.8% an F. As of now,
I can't believe you thought F was going to run away with it.
I thought I was concerned that people's anger would cloud their judgment and their frustration would cloud their judgment, because I think I probably would have voted D if I was a fan. I think if I'm being realistic, I would say he's a C-.
Why are you like plucking your head
kind of
like
turkey leg
when he was doing that chicken deal? Yeah,
I'm not sure.
Yeah, I think I think it was an incredible average run. He had some good moments. He had some bad moments.
Which isn't good
for the most part.
Right, we agree.
Yeah, but
you
it's
want to be a
average.
championship team. Average isn't good enough. Period.
It was. You brought home a ton of C's. Can you live with them? Can you get a degree with a C? Certainly.
Yeah, clearly.
You didn't win any championships with C's, though.
At least from Bradley. All right, let's get some more calls. Nothing? I didn't get anything for that? I saw the smirk.
I was waiting for Jesse. That was a shot at Jesse.
I was actually trying to put
another shot
Ryan and Trevor's text up saying, Jesse, I'll be expecting my spicy chicken sandwich, mozzarella sticks, and chocolate milk delivered with a smile. I don't know what's going on here today. Everybody's just piling on.
after you fall in a snowbank. 844-770-3776. Let's go to North Texas and talk to Vince as the national and soon-to-be international Wilde Tausch callers continue. Vince, good morning. How are you today?
Hey, how y'all doing, fellas?
We're good. What are you thinking about the dismissal of Joe Barry?
Well, I mean, all honesty is going back to y'all's conversation. I put him in the C. C's average. That makes sense. We'll keep it. No high, no low. He had his moments. But let's talk about, like, the potentials of who are still out there. You got Mike Vrabel, Linehan, Wink Martindale, Al Harris, Johnny Holland. Those two last ones I just named would make so much of the fan base, in my perspective. And I've been around long enough where I got to see the callback Mark Tauscher 2-point conversion happen. What was that, 2005?
Yeah, 05, 06, something there.
Christmas 2005. Yep. Touchdown.
Yeah,
2005.
Yeah.
That was the 4-12 season, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, it wasn't a great year.
One good. Yeah.
I think about guys that have come from head coaches back down to defensive coordinators. You don't see that often. Jim Schwartz is the only one who's really kind of done it successfully.
Hazlitt's done it pretty well. There have been some
Hazlitt has done it, but like Ron Rivera. How about Mike Nolan? The name that not a lot of people bring up. Mike Nolan.
Oh yeah, didn't work well.
He went off the radar. But guy that really
Dan Quinn, and on the same thing though, Dan Quinn has been very good as the D coordinator after his head coaching job.
You're right in that, and I say that all day long. I say this though. How about the name Mike Smith, the former linebackers coach, who was so excited about Rashad Gary being drafted?
Yeah. So Mike Smith and Vince, there's a lot of good names that you gave. I want to get to some of them, so we appreciate the call. Look, Al Harris is viewed as a rising star in the NFL defensive coaching ranks. He obviously has a history here. He would be, I would obviously like to see that. He's a former teammate of Tausch's. We could have a weekly segment with the defensive coordinator if we play our cards right. Johnny Holland was a very good linebacker here. He is in the Packers Hall of Fame with Tausch. He's 58 years old. I believe he has been battling cancer during the season. I don't know what his future would hold in terms of a defensive coordinator. He's 58 years old. But Johnny Holland is one of the all-time class acts in Packers history. He is very well regarded in the building. I just would be curious, how he would be viewed as a candidate. The 49ers defense obviously has had a lot of success, but I'm not sure it's been as good under Steve Wilkes as it was under, say, Robert Saleh and DeMeco Ryans before that.
Ryans. Yeah, it wasn't. Another name that I would look at, and I saw a couple of mentions of this, I just think this is such a copycat league. Anthony Weaver. There's a couple of different coaches within the Baltimore Ravens, and I just think there is a big pipeline, Green Bay to Baltimore. There is a lot of interconnectivity and synergy and working because they're different conferences. Don't be shocked if some of these veteran guys, I don't know where Matt LaFleur's headed. Does he want an alpha dog that takes up a lot of oxygen on his staff?
That's a good question.
How's that going to work? Mike Vrabel and him ain't going to work.
No,
I love Mike Vrabel.
I think it's important to point out that did not end well.
No, that's my point.
Yeah,
it ended very
poorly. I know it's your point, but I'm not sure. While you and I know that, I'm not sure, because I saw a lot of people saying, well, maybe he's waiting to fire Joe Barry until he knows if Mike Vrabel is going to get a head coaching job. I believe
him and Mike Vrabel didn't get along.
Mike Vrabel was going to fire him.
Yes, it was not a great scenario.
And then he got the head coaching job with the Packers. So
it
I
has
don't believe
to be,
that one.
You want to have. I think it is really important to bring somebody in that is going to be. They're going to set a standard and make it. I want to see what I see when I watch the Baltimore Ravens and the San Francisco 49ers. I want to see hard-hitting, explosive physicality. I want guys that bring that identity and bring it to their guys and see it play out. I don't know. The Mike Vrabel part of it, that's not going to happen. I don't know what their relationship is with Rex and some of these others. I want it to be where Matt LaFleur is looking at it and saying, you know what? This guy we might have different personalities. He might be a little more outspoken. He might be a loud cat. But I'm all right with that if it's going to change the way our defense approaches things.
So Wink Martindale was in Baltimore, remember? Then he went to the Giants, and then him and Brian Daboll parted ways. Not amicably, it would appear.
No, it didn't seem like
So he has a Baltimore connection there. He was really good in Baltimore, and that was when Milt Hendrickson was there. So that is a name that is worth continuing to monitor as well. He is a free agent. He's drawing interest from the Eagles. He's drawing interest from the Patriots. Like there's interest there, obviously. But again, I don't know what Matt LaFleur wants, because Joe Barry definitely did not take up a lot of oxygen. And so you get a defensive coordinator who's bombastic and gets a lot of, his press conferences will be much more entertaining if it's one of those guys that do take up a lot of oxygen. But again, I don't know if I'll get explained what takeaways are as effectively.
You take on the personality a lot of times of your coaches, and this group needs more dog. I think everybody could say, and that doesn't mean late hits and anything else. It means physical, tough, gritty. Everybody's talking about what Dan Campbell's done in Detroit. Great. Fantastic.
Yep.
He set a tone, and he's getting guys to buy into that tone. Mm-hmm. I think on our defense, it is always in Green Bay been great quarterback play, offense, all this, and defense just kind of hang in there, do enough. You want to have a dominant defense? Get somebody in there that's going to be a dominant force to help lead it. Mm-hmm. We'll see where Matt LaFleur's head's at on that.
So I don't think my guy, Ejiro Evero, is that dominant personality, right? Like, I don't think that he's a guy that he's been a defensive coordinator now. He's getting head coaching jobs. If Matt LaFleur doesn't want someone who takes up a lot of oxygen, I'm picking him still. That's still my guy. So you took Rex Ryan with Jim Leonard. I'm going to take Evero. We'll have to wait and see exactly how this goes going forward. But that is the big news as of now, is the Packers are in a market for a new defensive coordinator. We'll get to Tausch. I want you to go further into your Rex conversation, because I think that is really interesting to a lot of people. So we'll get to that. I do want to get to more calls as well. 844-770-3776, 844-770-3776. Your thoughts on the Packers changing defensive coordinators. Look, we've got other programs on these airwaves. If you're a Bucs fan, I'm sorry. We were going to spend some time on the Bucs coaching change.
You're
JG
doing a
was
lot
going
of
to join
chicken
us.
nodding today. What is going on with you?
I
You've
don't
been working
know.
on your neck.
I'm very bobbleheaded
You're doing
today.
this like a. You're doing this like a ton. I don't know why.
It's like a turkey thing. Yeah, I don't know either. All I know is that we were going to talk at least somewhat about the Bucs coaching changes. I got a couple texts from Bucs fans. The Bucs changed their head coach? Yeah, we do. We're a Packers-centric show. And they did fire Joe Barry.
Can somebody get me a Dollar Dame watch at Dollar Dame night tonight, too?
Well, JG probably could have got you one if we would have had him on the show.
Instead,
but
we
you
dumped
bumped him.
Yeah.
That probably didn't bode well for your watch.
Tough call. JG will hook up, brother.
All right, more calls and Tausch's expanded thoughts on Rex Ryan as the Packers' next defensive coordinator. What is he thinking? Will he put his foot in his mouth? We'll find out together next. It's Wilde Tausch.
On the air, on demand, on social, on Wisconsin Sports. Serving Wisconsin sports fans. This is 100.5 ESPN.
Mark Tauscher here for Zimbrick Chevrolet in Sun Prairie. But when it's playoff time, it means it's time to find out who the best of the best is. Well, Zimbrick Chevrolet in Sun Prairie is consistently recognized as a best of Madison operation. And with Wisconsin's winter weather now in full swing and routine maintenance always top of mind, stop into Zimbrick Chevrolet and discover this great team that I've been telling you about for years. Check out their new and used vehicle inventory or simply stop in for a tune-up. This is an especially tough time of year for water pumps, hoses, and belts that could leave you stranded on the side of the road if they're damaged. And if your battery lets you down this winter, Zimbrick Chevrolet can install a new one in minutes. You like watching the best teams play football? Well, you'll also like watching the best automotive team help you with your vehicle. Stop in today at Zimbrick Chevrolet on Main Street in Sun Prairie or check them out online at ZimbrickChevrolet.com. Zimbrick Chevrolet, the name you can trust.
Rah. Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin present your Badger Minute. Here's Alex Strofe.
This Badger Minute brought to you by Stoughton Trailers. Big trailers and big opportunity at Stoughton Trailers. Positions now open in production, operations, finance, sales, engineering, supply chain, and more. To apply today, go to stojobs.com. The 13th ranked Wisconsin Badgers remain in first place of the Big Ten following a road win Tuesday night at Minnesota. The Badgers are now 7-1 in Big Ten play. Head coach Greg Gard after the game.
They told me we had 8 straight stops in a row. They get 1 point on the last 5 possessions and made enough plays down the stretch to be able to finish it off. You know, a lot of good things, some better things defensively than maybe we were the other night.
The Badgers return home this Friday to play host to Michigan State at the Kohl Center. Tip-off set for 7 o'clock Friday.
Badger Minutes on ESPN Wisconsin are brought to you by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Schedule an appointment online today at PellaWI.com.
When it comes to security for your home and family, you want a winner, and we found one when we placed our trust with J&K Security Solutions. This is Greg Gard. Kim and Jeff hit the game-winning shot for us with the Control 4 home technology system. Home or away, from our smartphones, we can open the garage door, dim the lights, turn on the TV, as well as arm the security system. That's convenience as well as peace of mind. Let J&K Security Solutions do for your home or business like they've done for us. Call 255-5799 or online at jksecurity.com.
LabCorp Clinical Trials is changing to a new name, Fortrea. While the name may be different, Fortrea combines decades of great experience and professionalism with new opportunities for clinical trial participation. It's more than a mission and more than a new name. Fortrea is dedicated to moving healthcare forward. To learn more about the future of healthcare and upcoming clinical trials, visit us at FortreaClinicalTrials.com. That's FORTREA clinicaltrials.com.
Whether you're an artist playing accountant, a barista trying to be a bean counter, or a student just looking to get started, the UW Credit Union app lets you be free to be you. With free credit scores, free online bill pay, and the ability to send money to friends. Because with fewer fees, you can do more of what you love. UW Credit Union, here for every you. Join today at uwcu.org. Federally insured by NCUA.
If you're looking for a special piece of jewelry for any occasion, Condon Jewelers is always there for you. Condon Jewelers has the best selection of jewelry you'll ever find and guaranteed to have the lowest prices in the Madison area. Free shipping is always available. Visit CondonJeweler.com or call 241-3406 and ask for Jim, the owner, who's at the store every day. Shop locally. Condon Jewelers, the jeweler on the east side, the jeweler on your side.
For official rules and more information about every contest on 100.5 ESPN, visit ESPNWisconsinContests.com. That's ESPNWisconsinContests.com. You're listening to 100.5 ESPN and the ESPN app.
Watch every ESPN Madison show live every day. Subscribe to ESPN Madison on YouTube for live video of every show and exclusive content. Just search ESPN Madison.
All right, I want to get to calls.
Yeah,
because
nice
I hate leaving people on hold.
Yeah.
Also, I want to get to Tausch's further expansion on his Rex Ryan idea. But then don't send me stuff like this.
What did I do?
You said They're remaking Roadhouse with Jake Gyllenhaal playing the role of. Come on, replacing Patrick Swayze.
I love Roadhouse, but I mean Patrick Swayze passed. It's a movie that deserves a remake, but not with Jake. Not with Jake.
This is very distracting.
You know who would have been good there?
The Rock.
No.
Joe Barry.
That's a Christian Bale movie all day. He should be taking that over.
You want to give Christian Bale every movie.
What about Ryan Reynolds?
He's got the most chops.
Chops.
Reynolds would be fine, too. He'd bring a little more of a laid-backness to it.
Sure.
I'd take either one of them ahead of Gyllenhaal.
This is all your fault. I don't know why.
It's Gyllenhaal, and you know it. You're just doing that.
I'm not a fan.
Let's go. All right, let's go to the phones, and then Tausch will explain at the top of the 11 why he wants Rex Ryan. I'm not doing this. We're moving on. Let's go to Aaron and Madison.
Happy birthday, Kelly Kapowski.
Aaron, good morning. How are you today?
Hey, I'm good. How are you guys?
Good. What do you got for us?
Good. So I got a name that I've heard. Ross Uglum actually brought this guy up back in early January. And it was Dave Aranda. And I think Bayer gave him a year extension. But I thought, similar to Jim Leonard, one of those guys that is commented on being a really intelligent guy, smartest guy in the room. I know, Tausch, you've been talking about that fiery, aggressive D coordinator. I guess I'm curious with both of your guys' opinions on bringing in a guy like Aranda, if Green Bay would be willing to buy out that contract, if they'd be willing to bring him in, what kind of fit you think he'd be?
Well, obviously he's extremely highly regarded, right? And he had success at LSU, he had success at Wisconsin. I don't know. Here's the thing about this move, and this was one of the arguments, Tausch, that I have been making. Do you stick with Joe Barry in an era where there are a lot of qualified candidates, right? Like, we've gone through a lot of names already that a lot of them are appealing. No one, if other teams are looking for a coordinator, Joe Barry's not getting an interview with any of them. He might be an inside linebackers coach for someone.
You're probably right, but we'll see. He's been hired 2 other times, right?
Yeah, and this hiring at the time was widely panned, given what he had done at the other 2 places he'd been. I don't know if Aranda or Jimmy Leonard or any of the guys that spent most of their time in the college ranks, I don't know what Matt LaFleur wants. I think he wants an aggressive defense.
I was just going to ask you, do you think Matt LaFleur wants a big alpha dog, loud cat leading his defense? You know Matt LaFleur. You guys are buddies. You guys are always yakking it up. And
we are. I would say this. I think what he wants is a guy that is...
But okay.
I'm sorry?
I said it was a yes or no question, but continue. I don't know why I ever ask you yes or no questions. You never answer it.
Shouldn't, yeah. We play a game yes or no on the pregame show, and I don't answer those that way either. I think what he wants is a guy, whether he's got a big personality or not, who he can say, run the defense, do it well, I don't want to have to deal with it. Be the head coach of the defense. Because I can't believe I got up there and Wilde called me out on it, that I would say that I would give up play calling duties. That's when I knew I had to fire Joe Barry.
I love that you threw yourself into the equation and now are taking credit for firing Joe Barry.
I'm not taking credit. I'm saying that was such... No, stop. You know that's not true.
Okay.
It is so... The point is, it was so asinine.
Jesse's like, he's right. OT got him.
No, he didn't.
Put it up on the old T-shirt. Tausch was right. I agree with Tausch.
I saw there's
Jesse
an updated
do that
version.
Very often.
I see there's an updated version of that shirt.
Yeah, I didn't like
it's got the
that from my boy
Ghostbuster
Ranter.
slash through it.
I didn't like
what I'm saying is I think he wants someone that he can just let them run the defense. Mike McCarthy had that when Dom Capers was doing extremely well. Mike Holmgren did that when he had Fritz Schirmer. That is what you want. So if he's got a big personality, fine. If he's laid back and understated, publicly, fine, whatever it is, but he does not want to have to get involved again, would be what I would say. Let's get to another call. Let's go north of the border so we can be international now today. Let's go to Ricardo in Canada. Ricardo, good morning, buddy. How are you?
I'm great. First and foremost, shame on Hollywood for trying to remake Roadhouse. It's a masterpiece. Leave it alone.
Amen.
Even good today. Leave it alone. Make a new movie. Second of all, thank God, finally, Joe Barry, you did your job, but it's time to go. We needed some new blood. We needed some new voice. And I agree with both of you guys in saying that we need someone whose attitude and personality is going to take over the defense. And I'm not joking when I say Al Harris is that guy. It's watching him growing up, watching him as a player, no one was tougher as a quarterback. To the point where even Terrell Owens in his prime was running away from him. So, you know what? I don't care what people say. Al Harris would be a top-notch candidate. Him or even someone like Mike Zimmer. No Jim Leonard. He had a shot. Okay, we're someone's first priority. We're not somebody's second choice. Okay, go back to college. That's where you want to stay. Now you're going to stay there. We're not going to be used as a stepping stone for you. Forget Jim Leonard. But I agree. Mike Zimmer would be great because his defense was fantastic.
Ooh.
Especially that double A blitz scheme. Especially in today's day and age where it forces the issue. Oh, it would be fantastic with our team. We play nickel all the time anyway. And Al Harris, Jair would go to a next level with Al Harris. And if someone like Valentine who wants to be physical, Al Harris would give him the blueprint. Just jabbing wide receivers all day, it'd be a masterpiece. And offseason's going to a good start, boys. Have a good one.
Can feel Ricardo's excitement for sure. Yeah, nod my head again. What do you think of the two names that Ricardo brought up there? What do you think of Al Harris, and what do you think of Mike Zimmer, who has now been out for a little while, but obviously Aaron Rodgers used to praise him up and down?
Yeah, I mean, obviously I love Al Harris. He's one of my all-time favorite teammates. He has done a good job in Dallas. I just wonder if Matt LaFleur is going to turn it over to someone that has not been a coordinator. I don't think he's going to. I could be wrong. I hope I'm. It'd be great. I'd love to see Al come here. I just don't envision that being where Matt goes.
I tend to agree.
As far as Mike Zimmer, he's an old salty dog now. He would bring an identity as being an old salty cat, A-gap blitz, putting a ton of pressure on him. I would be more than fine. Especially, he's probably got a little bit of a stick in his craw. Is that how they say that? As far as with the Minnesota Football Vikings, is how that finished. All of those things. Mike Zimmer knows how to coach ball. He has been a big-time defensive-minded guy. He was not a great head coach because he could never figure the offense out on a consistent basis, and he hated quarterbacks.
Yeah.
He didn't have to worry about that here. I would think that would be someone that
head coach
Matt
of the
LaFleur
defense
is going to want to call.
Yeah.
For sure.
We'll continue with your calls, and we'll get Tausch's other thoughts on the opening at 1265 Lombardi Avenue.
Are we doing Digi only or no? I don't know. Are we doing a Digi only break or not?
Well, not during a top of the hour break when it's only 2 minutes and Jesse has a sports center to do. But what we could do is have you tell us about
Look at Jesse.
Prize
I love
Picks.
it when Jesse gets all rattled back there. And I love it when I get to talk about Prize Picks, daily fantasy sports made easy. And boy, is it easy. Select 2 or more players. I like going with 3. I've had some really good success throughout the postseason. We got fun games coming up this weekend. I haven't looked really closely yet, but I know tonight, Yanni's back, new coach. I'm going to go more on Yanni's projections tonight. I'm going to go with the 3 option. That's what I do. And one of my favorite things about Prize Picks, it is the only daily fantasy platform with injury insurance to keep you in the game, even if one of your players goes down. So over 7 million sports fans have already signed up. And Old T and Old Jelly, we're a couple of them. So join us, watch your favorite players, and get paid doing it. And right now, Prize Picks will match your first deposit of up to $100. Just download the app, Prize Picks app. Use the promo code WI. That's promo code WI on prizepicks.com, or download that Prize Picks app. Get that match of up to $100. Prize Picks. Pick more, pick less. It is that easy. Yanni, big game tonight. Big game.
You just can't help yourself. With his new head coach in place by tip-off, I would presume.
I wonder. I just wondered if Prunty's going to take it or if they're going to let Doc jump right in.
Nah, you can't hire him and let him coach that night. Can you?
Well, who's taking over at ESPN for him then? They bring Van Gundy back? What are they doing there?
Evan Cohen, perhaps. He knows a lot about
Adrian Griffin.
Adrian Griffin is available. We will kick off the 11 o'clock hour with a few more calls and Tausch's explanation for his love of the Rex Ryan, Jim Leonard pairing. That happens in 2 minutes, so stick around. It's Wilde and Tausch.
Don't go anywhere. Another hour of Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, is coming up next on ESPN Wisconsin, the ESPN app, and Wisconsin On Demand.
Zimbrick Chevrolet.
When was the last time you had your oil changed or your tires rotated? Do you need new tires, a battery, perhaps some windshield wipers? Zimbrick Chevrolet Service Center is equipped to help you with routine maintenance, major repairs, and everything in between. Get your free battery inspection coupon and schedule an appointment today at ZimbrickChevrolet.com. Don't overpay. Shop Zimbrick Chevrolet on Main Street in Sun Prairie.
Main Street, Sun Prairie, Zimbrick Chevrolet.
Hey, this is Craig Karmazin. Join Kyle Wallace and me every Sunday morning for Sunday Karma on a Good Karma Brands radio station, 100.5 ESPN, WTLX, Monona, Madison.
Broadcasting live from the Everlight Solar Studio, this is your Metro Kia of Madison Sports Center.
Good morning, Madison and streamers everywhere. I'm Jesse Nelson. Sports Center brought to you by Ho Chunk Gaming Madison, home of smoke-free slots and the highest payout percentage in the area. Ho Chunk Gaming Madison, more spins, more wins, more fun. No shortage of breaking news on ESPN Madison today, brought to you by Metro Kia on the east side of Madison. Joe Barry out as the defensive coordinator of the Green Bay Packers after 3 seasons. NFL Network's Tom Pelissero was first to report the news this morning. The Packers and head coach Matt LaFleur have released a statement confirming the news. Joe Barry done as defensive coordinator. Reactions continuing next on Wilde and Tausch right here on 100.5 ESPN and all throughout the day. But that's not all we're reacting to. Doc Rivers is in as the new head coach of the Milwaukee Bucks after Adrian Griffin was fired after 43 games in his first season yesterday. ESPN's Adrian Wojnarowski reporting in the last hour that the Bucks and Doc Rivers have officially agreed to terms. Doc taking over as the head coach of the Milwaukee Bucks. And the Milwaukee Brewers have a new everyday first baseman, Rhys Hoskins, who hit 30 home runs with the Phillies in 2022, agreeing to a 2-year, $34 million deal.
When breaking news happens, ESPN Madison has it covered. Breaking news on ESPN Madison is presented by Metro Kia of Madison.
The 11 o'clock hour of Wilde and Tausch begins now. And it begins, we'll get to more of your calls in a second, but you wanted to expound on your reasoning for Rex Ryan.
Yeah, and it's probably threefold. First one, you just kind of went over it again, where I think Matt LaFleur, he is an offensive guru. That's why he was hired. He was hired to kind of resurrect this offense with Aaron Rodgers and now developing Jordan Love. He's done a great job. Offense, guys running wide open, schemed some things up. And the offense, while it had some struggles,
no doubt,
nobody can sit here and say, man, what a great job. Matt LaFleur was fantastic for a vast majority of the season, sans the October swoon. The idea of him even pondering giving up play calling because of all of the other things, that would be cutting off your nose to spite your face. Doesn't do you any good. So you want, as you put it, kind of a head coach for the defense. Set it and forget it, and only kind of chime in when you really feel like something, but not spending a ton of time. That means you need someone that's had that experience, that's had that veteran mentality, and can run a team and kind of set that tone. The other thing, and I think this is important, the defensive coordinator for the Green Bay Packers is always going to be coming under a lot of heat.
Mm-hmm.
We've seen it. Every Packer fan that's been around since Fritz Shurmur has seen it, because that's how this thing rolls. You have a really good quarterback, a head coach that's offensive-minded, Holmgren, McCarthy, however you want to look at it. It always goes, and the attention always goes, boy, if the defense could just do this. And I want someone that is going to have a strong enough personality that will set that identity as an aggressive, no-nonsense, we are going to be physical, we're going to be tough, and has a track record of proving that he is that person. That's Rex Ryan.
Mm-hmm.
That is Rex Ryan. And then you add in the fact that Jimmy Leonard is a part of, he is a Rex Ryan disciple. He's been on staffs, he's done things, he's learned that. And you have another young up-and-comer with new, fresh ideas that will be melded with that. It, to me, is the perfect fit. So can those personalities mesh? I don't know the answer to that. That's the part that I don't know. Does Matt LaFleur want an alpha dog coming in and taking up a ton of oxygen on that side of the ball? I would say the defense needs some swagger. They need some of that moxie. I don't want it to be, Mike Daniels, when he joined us, kind of inundated, kind of frowned upon being that loud, vocal. It was almost as if, slow it down. Oh, Aaron's going to fix all the problems. I don't want that mentality. And you bring in someone like him, you're not going to have that. He is going to demand and put guys in position to take over and be not that we're going to have a Ray Lewis or a Terrell Suggs or an Ed Reed, but I certainly feel good about Rex finding and identifying those guys and forming that kind of defense, because then you start adding that up with all that young talent on offense, we're already going to be in the mix for Super Bowl talk next year. You start adding that up and it starts looking that way, woo! Woo!
What do you think the chances are that you'll turn out to be right? I don't think that this is a high. I was going to say I don't feel like the odds are real high of this. In part because what you said about the oxygen. We got a text from Shiloh in California. The problem with Rex Ryan is that he's the chaos candidate. He's volatile. Plus, if LaFleur burned bridges when he fired Pettin, Rex and Leonard might not want to be in Green Bay. Look, Rex Ryan was politicking for Mike Pettin's job while he was on the show with us, while Mike Pettin still had the job. Right. So I don't think that that would be a stumbling block. I do think that there's the possibility that Matt LaFleur is like, look, I gave Jim Leonard a chance to take this job. He chose not to. My second choice was not super successful. I can find somebody else. The Rex Ryan piece, chaos seems a little strong, but not. I don't have a huge problem with that choice.
I'm going to be honest with you. I don't mind having a little chaos. The last thing you want to do is status quo this and just assume, well, we're going to just keep doing things the same way. We're going to bring a nice, soft shell defense, not give up big plays, nobody with too much of a personality, just kind of sit, and our offense is going to be really good, try to create a turnover, and melodrama, blah, blah, blah.
So doesn't that rule out Brandon Staley? Because that's basically what he runs. He runs it better than the Packers did.
I don't want Brandon Staley as the new DC.
I didn't say you wanted him. I'm saying doesn't that if they want to avoid the status quo.
I don't know what Matt LaFleur wants.
Yeah.
I think he wants what a Rex Ryan type would bring. Does he want all of that though? Probably not.
Right. That's why I'm a skeptic of your idea. I like your idea, but I'm skeptical that it'll come to fruition. All right. 844-770-3776. I want to get to more of your calls. I know a few of you have been holding on hold for a while there, so we'll get to you next. Tausch, tell us a little bit about AmFam and what they've got going on before we get to those calls.
All right, we got the old hoop season, a great win up at the old barn last night. Didn't play a great second half, but found a way to win. And American Family Insurance wants you to win with a VIP experience at a basketball game this season. You and a friend. Pre-game courtside passes, tour of the facility, tons of beautiful Badger merch to support your Badgers. Enter today at amfam.com/Badgers. No purchase is necessary. Dream fearlessly. Insure carefully.
Austin and Salt Lake City. I agree with Tausch. Now let's go get a blank and blank snack. Hey, as a reporter, they hire Rex Ryan. I'm in. I'm fine with that. I am a skeptic of that being the final outcome of this hiring process. But it's just underway. The Packers moving on from Joe Barry, their defensive coordinator for 3 seasons. We'll get to more of your calls next. It's Wilde Tausch.
This is Wilde Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Call Gina Della from Pella today, 855-PELLA-WI, and online at PellaWI.com/radio.
Hey, it's Alex Strofe. Stay in the know on area high school sports and follow ESPN Madison on Twitter for Prep Mania on Deck, each week's preview of the top games and events. Prep Mania on Deck is brought to you by Zimbrick Honda, a proud supporter of high school sports and local communities.
Ever wonder how the best athletes find the power to jump higher, cut quicker, skate smoother, drive farther, and stick the landing? At Prevea Orthopedics in Green Bay, we know power starts with the hips. That's why Dr. Michael Ryan and our team of experts provide comprehensive and advanced expertise in hip care, unlike anywhere else. Come to Prevea Orthopedics and Sports Medicine, where we can preserve your hips so you can pursue your goals. Prevea Orthopedics, specializing in you.
Hey, it's Bobby Portis, and I love playing basketball in Milwaukee. When I drive down the lane, I move fast and make sudden moves to drive to the hoop and score. But when I'm behind the wheel in the driving lane, I control my drive. I don't speed or make sudden movements. Speeding and reckless driving are the leading causes of traffic injuries and deaths in Wisconsin. Do what I do. Control your drive. Don't speed. Don't be reckless. Zero in Wisconsin. Together we can save lives. Wisconsin DOT.
Life has its moments, times to remember and share. Make the most of those special occasions by visiting Goodman's Jewelers at 220 State Street. John Hayes from Goodman's Jewelers. We're here to help you make that perfect selection for your memorable moment. When you think of diamonds, you hear about color, cut, clarity, and carat weight. We can help you understand that, but we're equally concerned with earning your trust with the quality of our selection and our service. Goodman'sJewelers.com, in the heart of downtown Madison. Truly a destination worth reaching.
Are you looking for a fast-paced job in a fun and exciting work environment? Look no further than Ho-Chunk Gaming Madison. We offer a wide range of job and shift availability in both part-time and full-time positions. Competitive wages and great benefits await you at Ho-Chunk Gaming Madison. Visit us in person or check out our website to see all of our job openings. Make work fun and apply for a job at Madison's only casino.
Breaking news on ESPN Madison is presented by Metro Kia of Madison, Madison's trusted Kia dealer. Stop into Metro Kia on the east side of Madison or visit metrokiaofmadison.com.
Start the new year off right at Prairie Athletic Club. Hi, it's Sarah Tauscher, and my family loves the Pack. Get you and your family moving this winter with everything you'll need under one roof. Play on the basketball courts, the soccer field, or swim in their indoor pools. Try any of their group fitness classes, including CrossFit, Pilates, hot yoga, boot camp, and so much more. Come see for yourself why Prairie Athletic Club is voted the best place to work out and the best thing for kids to do year after year. Visit prairieathletic.com.
Mark Tauscher here to tell you a little bit more about Everlight Solar. We all know that electricity costs are on the rise. That's why you need to talk to my friends over at Everlight Solar. Their local team here in Madison is here to keep it simple. From your no-cost consultation to solar panel installation, the team at Everlight Solar will be with you every step of the way. Not only will they help you save money, but by switching to solar, you're also helping save the planet. Everlight Solar, a proud partner of Wisconsin Athletics. Check them out at everlightsolar.com.
At Gruber Law Offices, we take great pride in helping those who have trusted us after a serious accident. Our team has the knowledge, resources, and experience to get you the results you deserve. Don't wait to get the help you need. Make the right call. Call Gruber Law Offices today. Proud partner of Wisconsin Athletics. One call, that's all.
Wilde Tausch on 100.5 ESPN is brought to you by Everlight Solar. Save money, save the planet. Everlight Solar.
Let's get to your calls right away. 844-770-3776. First up, Steve in Middleton, as the Packers fire Joe Barry as their defensive coordinator. Steve, good morning. How are you?
Good morning, guys. Good. Isn't it always the Brewers' luck? They sign a 30-homer on first baseman, and they still end up third in the list of stories for the day. As far as the coach, I'm for either Ryan or Martindale, but I agree with both of you. Tausch, I agree with him that that's the kind of guy they need. But, Jason, I'm afraid you're right that I'm not sure that LaFleur wants that kind of big-profile coach, loud coach. He seems to be more of the mild, I don't know, under-the-radar kind of guy that he'd want working for him. Mm-hmm. Somebody that doesn't make waves. But hopefully we're wrong and he surprises us.
Yeah, I think this is really interesting, and I'm glad that Tausch brought it up. And, Steve, thanks for the call. Tausch, is there a drawback to having that type of guy? Do you think
which guy? The loud?
The loud, bombastic.
For sure.
Take up a lot of energy.
Big ego. Yeah, of course there is. There's great risk with that, but there's great reward. If you have a Rex Ryan New York Jets-style defense that he put together when he was the coach there, or what they were able to do in Baltimore when he was the D-line coach and everything else, you're going to be really happy. But does he come with a monster ego? Oh, yeah. But I'm going to be honest with you. I am kind of sick and tired of the defense always being on the back burner. And, oh, shucks, let Jordan go lead him down, or let Aaron go lead him down, or let Brett go do it. Take it on. You want to have a championship caliber defense. You want to have a bunch of dogs. You want guys playing aggressive and doing all that. You can't have a mild-mannered, easy-going cat running it. You're going to play with the type of vim and vigor that you get from your defensive coordinator. And I think Rex will bring that all over the place. And does it have a chance to be a short-lived deal? Absolutely. And by the way, I don't care if it's a short-lived deal. Let's light this baby up. And let's see what happens instead of playing it safe and being middle of the pack and then sitting here on Sundays and Mondays complaining that, oh, we're 3rd and 8 and we're giving up a 9-yard cushion. You want to go big? Go with Rex. If you want to go and be consistent, and we will figure it out as it goes. But if you want to really change the culture of what your defense is, you got to make a big change with who's leading it.
Yeah. Let's go to Tim in Hales Corners. Tim, thanks for holding on. What do you got for us?
Hey, fellas. It's been a while since I called in. I had a comment and a question for you guys.
Sounds great.
Comment first is that I think you got to be careful what you wish for. And I agree that Joe Barry, a change had to be made. But I remember when Mike Sherman dumped Ed Donatel after the 2003 season, and he was basically a fall guy for the 4th and 26th, and it was probably one of his worst coaching changes he made because Ed Donatel was a really good defensive coordinator, and he ended up going through a couple more after he dumped him. The question I have for you guys is that what if Matt LaFleur says, I think Mike Zimmer is the defensive coordinator that I want. Now you got to change to a 4-3 because I think he was strictly a 4-3 guy. Is Matt LaFleur married to the 3-4 system, or would he change to a 4-3? Because if you make a change, then you got to start moving players around and parts around. You got to start drafting different players. So I'll be interested to hear what you guys think about that.
No, it's a good question, Tim. So first of all, and Tausch backed me up on this as I've learned so clearly now the importance of calling your outside linebackers defensive linemen.
Yeah.
Joe's last
LaFleur's a 2-down line guy. He's not a 3-down line. He's a 2-down. Just so
Funny.
That's what Jason thought.
Anyway, the idea is when you play sub packages as much as these teams do now, it doesn't really matter if you're 3-4 or 4-3 because you're not in base very often.
It still does.
Why don't you just take over?
Continue.
No, go ahead.
I think there's no doubt. Mike Zimmer, by the way, I don't think he is always married to a 4-3 either. The defense in today's day, this isn't the 80s and 90s, man. There's so much read option, and the quarterback position has changed. You better be so multiple and so versatile with your guys that it doesn't matter. And I think that was Jason's point before I so rudely cut him off, is you have to be varied in understanding what's going on. And it's all about long-levered athletes. The days of monster nose guards, Ted Washington and Sammy, I can't remember his last name, Big Sam, remember the
Adams,
big dude?
Sam Adams.
Sammy Adams. Those guys,
Boston.
it's just not, that's not where you're at. You need explosive players off. And by the way, I actually think, and I don't know what's going to happen with Preston Smith. He's been a really good Packer. I would be surprised if he isn't back in some way, shape, or form, but that's a money thing and how that's restructured. Lucas Van Ness feels like a hand-in-the-dirt guy. I'd be fine with him as a hand-in-the-dirt guy. Yeah. Rashawn Gary, put his hand in the dirt. I'm all right with that,
too.
It
was at Michigan.
I actually want both guys. I think if you're going to switch, now's the time to do it. And by the way, that doesn't mean you don't mix and match and go. If somebody gets injured, you do that. And all of a sudden, if you go to a 4-3, Quay's in the middle, and you let him hunt. Right? Because I think Devondre Campbell's going. I don't think Devondre Campbell, I don't know what his cap hit's going to be. He's going to have to take some hair cutting, I think, if he's going to come back in some way, shape, or form. Be multiple, and if you like Mike Zimmer and the way he attacks, and I do, I'm sure Matt LaFleur does, you're not going to be deterred by saying, well, we have to do this. Because the Green Bay Packers personnel is multiple enough that you can shift it to make it work however you want.
That is essentially what I was going to say. So you said it better, and you're the one who played in the NFL. 844-770-3776. We still got a bunch of calls to get to. Let's get to one more before the break. Let's talk to Troy in Rice Lake. Troy, thanks for holding on. Good morning. What do you think?
Pie country.
Morning, guys.
The pie corridor.
Thanks for taking the call. I'm with the previous caller. I think we want Mike Zimmer. I think his packages and his ability to disguise what his defenses were always doing, and let's be real, is coach going to settle for another mediocre defensive coordinator, or is he going to mix things up and try to get someone in here to kind of right the ship, essentially, of what he's done the last 3 years?
It feels like an opportunity to do something bold. And will he take the opportunity to hire someone that is a bold stroke of a hire? I think Wink Martindale fits this profile too. I don't think it's going to be Rex Ryan. This has been fun to talk about. I know you and your buddy Dan Orlovsky are both on the same page on that. I think Dan maybe just wants more airtime on Get Up. But the bottom line is it would be fun. It's interesting. I don't think ultimately that will be the hire, but I am certainly been wrong before, and you've been right a lot this season. So I'm not ruling it out. But the Wink Martindales, the Mike Zimmers, those are the kinds of things, those are the kinds of coaches that I see I think he wants a guy that he can say, because one of the reasons Wink Martindale is no longer with the Giants is because Brian Daboll was meddling with his defense. He wants to be the head coach of his defense. John Harbaugh let him do that in Baltimore. Now, whether or not that works for this team, I don't know. But that's the kind of vibe I get. I do not want to have questions about whether I'm actually serious about giving up the play calling, no matter who asks them.
You really think that shook him, don't you?
I don't. I thought he was full of
you
crap.
mentioned it 3 different times today.
Because it was a galactically stupid thing to consider.
Yeah,
You've had a great year with your first-year starting quarterback. Do not give up play calling. And he didn't, because he didn't keep Joe Barry. But to even consider that should have told you everything you needed to know about needing to make a change. And he made the change. And I don't think he'll be giving up play calling now on the offensive side of the ball. And if he hires a guy that could be the defensive head coach, then he doesn't have to worry about it. But he spent a lot of time worrying about his defense over the last 2 years. And I don't think he wants to have to do that. That's what I think. I also think that Johnson & Sons Paving will be thrilled when they add you to their team and you start telling their guys what to do instead of doing the work yourself.
I cannot wait. We're going to get out there. I'm going to put on my loose-fitting pants, put a belt on, going to get to work paving away on anything. And if you're like me, it's early in the year. You want to start thinking about budgeting out how the rest of your 24 is going to go. Now's the time to set those preferred dates for booking Johnson & Sons Paving. You get on there early enough, I'm going to probably be on the job with you. Whether it's asphalt or concrete, they set the standard. Maybe you need a patching now, but know you'll want a full repaving later. Talk with a project manager and set yourself up with a 5-year game plan. 2 civil engineers on staff, a team with 2 decades of experience. They have seen it all. Booking work now gives you all the time needed to get all the right paperwork in place. Johnson & Sons know how to build whatever ideas you have the right way. Get started now at Johnson & Sons Paving. I know I'm excited. I'm probably looking late May, early June is when I'll be out on my shift. Getting out there, coming down, sliding down Dino.
At any point did you discuss this with them? At any point?
I haven't yet. No, I haven't yet. I'm not sure what kind of training we go into.
Welcome to your partnership with Wilde Tausch. We're happy to have you. Tausch has now joined your crew, but maybe he'll no-show like Jesse.
Well, I will assure you, once we work this out, there will be no-shows. Old T and Jelly are going to go out and do this together. We're going to get out and grind.
Don't
I know
you
Jason
sign
with those
me
baby
up for more work.
Jason with those baby milky white Costanza hands, he ain't going to go do any manual labor. Me and Jelly, we're out there. We're always working. We'll be out
when
there
I think of
grinding
manual labor, I think of Jesse Nelson.
Legit, Jesse, of everybody in the ESPN Madison office, if you think I need someone to go do manual labor, is there anybody on our team outside of me that you pick that would do it?
Rutledge.
Like, I am a manual labor kind of cat.
Take Rutledge.
No way.
Yeah, he's always working out over at Carbon World Health. He's ready to show.
I'm talking
he's
about
ready to
lifting
flex
weights.
He's ready
I'm
to
talking
get down
about
dirt.
moving pavement, concrete, and asphalt.
He hosts a
working.
show all about home remodels every Sunday. This guy's all about Mr. Do-It-Yourself. If you're going to pick anybody, take old Jimmy with you.
I'm still putting myself ahead of him, but I think it's a fair point that you brought up.
More of your calls.
Of the 3 of us, Jason, it's old T, though, right?
No one would deny that you are the manliest of the 3 of us, and you would do the best hard labor work.
That is not the – I ain't going to lie to you. That's not the most glowing trophy I'd get.
I would say and again, as you once again finish my sentence, I don't think you should be taking a victory lap that you're the manliest of the 3 of us.
Trust me, I'm not. I am not.
Damned with faint praise. More of your calls next. It's Wilde and Tausch.
This is Wilde and Tausch, driven by Zimbrick Chevrolet in Sun Prairie on 100.5 ESPN. See their full inventory at ZimbrickChevrolet.com.
you'll notice that some jewelry stores in the area are giving big, deep down discounts, as much as 60%. But you know what they're doing, don't you? They're just marking it up to mark it down. That's why for over 30 years, Chalmers Jewelers has offered you truth in pricing. You will always find great value on unique custom jewelry at Chalmers Jewelers. Truth in pricing is what it's always been.
Chalmers Jewelers in Middleton
And Madison.
LabCorp Clinical Trials is changing to a new name, Fortrea. While the name may be different, Fortrea combines decades of great experience and professionalism with new opportunities for clinical trial participation. It's more than a mission and more than a new name. Fortrea is dedicated to moving healthcare forward. To learn more about the future of healthcare and upcoming clinical trials, visit us at FortreaClinicalTrials.com. That's FORTREA clinicaltrials.com.
Even when the weather outside is frightful, your energy bill could be much more delightful. Replacing drafty windows and doors can dramatically lower your energy costs. Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin's energy-efficient windows keep the cold outside where it belongs. You'll help kick the January blues when you choose to book by the 31st for 0% interest up to 36 months. You heard that right. No interest for up to 36 months if you book by January 31st. Visit PellaWI.com.
Certain restrictions apply.
UW Credit Union presents the Prep Mania Student Athlete of the Week, supporting local student athletes as they grow on the field, in the classroom, and in the community. UW Credit Union is here for every you. Learn more at uwcu.org. Here's Dennis Semrau with the UW Credit Union Student Athlete of the Week.
Our ESPN Madison UW Credit Union Student Athlete of the Week, Lexi Atkinson. Welcome, Lexi.
Glad you can have me.
You're a multiple sport athlete. What's it like being a multiple sport athlete at Sauk Prairie?
Just having a lot of classmates being multiple sport athletes, we have this really good bond from sport to sport, which I think makes us overall better in the school.
Yeah, you're looking at playing a sport in college?
I'm going to the UW River Falls and playing soccer.
What do you plan to study?
Animal science. I'm hoping to have a pre-vet emphasis and then apply to medicine to be a vet.
What do you remember the most of your experiences here at Sauk?
I think just the diversity that we have. Me being in FFA, we have a great agriculture program, and so it has given me more opportunities than the different opportunities that we can get with the referendum for our high school. Not only my class, but then like the upcoming generations. It's going to benefit them a lot.
Working at a company that truly cares and invests in their employees should never be taken for granted. Work, learn, and earn at the Wilde School at Stoughton Trailers. The program includes 1 week of paid training starting at $18 per hour and features small class sizes designed for individual attention. No prior experience is needed because teaching their employees is all part of the Stoughton Trailers way. Graduate into a full-time position in Stoughton or Evansville. Apply today at stojobs.com. That's stojobs.com.
Jim Rutledge here to talk to you about North and South Seafood and Smokehouse, the official barbecue joint of Rutledge and Hamilton and the official barbecue joint of the Rutledge household. We love going to all three of their locations, whether it's in DeForest, Madison, or in Verona. We get the same great service and food every time we go, no matter the location. Even better, when we have parties, cookouts, or anything in between, I don't have to spend all my time over the grill. Instead, I give a call to the folks at North and South Seafood and Smokehouse. So hurry in to North and South Seafood and Smokehouse, the official barbecue joint of Rutledge and Hamilton and the official barbecue joint of the Rutledge household.
Get ready for Frozen Assets, a celebration of our lakes presented by Associated Bank and the Edgewater. This 10-day event kicks off on January 27th with a can't-miss fundraiser. Tickets are on sale now. Then head to the Edgewater and Lake Mendota all week for daily events. The popular Frozen Assets 5K Run Walk is on Saturday, February 3rd, as well as the festival featuring free ice skating, show kites, ice science, hot chocolate, and more. Learn more at cleanlakesalliance.org.
Like, share, and follow ESPN Madison everywhere. Follow us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok for more great content from ESPN Madison. This is 100.5 ESPN and Wisconsin On Demand.
I'm not afraid of getting old, and I want less day from dying young. I see the light and go past my shoulder, I want less day from dying young, and I'm not afraid of getting old.
More calls. 844-770-3776. Let's go to Jesse's favorite city, where he has some sort of small statue outside the Fleet Farm. It is Chris in Muskego. Chris, good morning. How are you?
Hey, guys.
Yeah, with all what Rex Ryan could bring, I don't think I'd want the headache. But I would love to go with Zimmer. I wouldn't mind Jimmy Leonard. When these guys were talking about, oh, he turned it down once, screw him. Well, I think someone whispered in his ear he's going to be the next head coach of the Badgers, and I think that's why he didn't come to Green Bay.
Maybe.
But and people talk about Al Harris. I'd love Al Harris to be the defensive back coach for the Packers, but they'd have to give him a position like assistant defensive coordinator. Otherwise, you couldn't get him from the Cowboys. But I like going with Zimmer. He knows the division, which would be a great help, and he's got a mean defense. And to Tausch's point, you don't see a true 3-4-4-3 because of the way the game has changed. You see situational defense, and I think Zimmer is smart enough to do that. I think he brings an aggressive attitude, and I would love to see it. My question with Leonard being a DC, who's he going to get from the NFL, or who's going to bring onto his staff? So that's kind of what worries me about him. And I also like what you said with the guy from the Panthers, Valero. I think he'd be a good defensive coordinator, but the problem is Panthers got a lock on him because they don't know if they want to make him the head coach or not.
Right.
Yet.
Yeah, he's in limbo for sure. That's a good point. I don't know what Matt LaFleur wants, and to me, that's the biggest question. But I am inclined to agree that he wants a smart, somewhat unassuming defensive head coach that he doesn't have to worry about the defense. Now, I don't think Mike Zimmer rises to the level of Rex Ryan. So I think he would take Mike Zimmer if that's the way he wanted to go. But Rex Ryan's a lot. We would agree that he's a lot.
For sure. He is, but I don't think Mike Zimmer's probably a walk in the park either. He ruffles a lot of feathers. He is going to have strong opinions.
Mm-hmm.
He is a Parcells guy. So there is a lot of things there, too. So
agreed.
When you start looking at all of those things, take that into account as well. So the Mike Zimmer part, it feels like our fans are looking at this and saying, we want that experience. We want that success that he's brought, that leadership, but I'm not interested in all the theatrics. Mike Zimmer is not a theatrical guy, but
he's got some of that.
I don't think. Yeah, he's got a little bit of that as well. So I get it. I think we have been conditioned here. We want obviously people that are knowledgeable and professional with what they're doing and good at their job. But I really think this group needs a big personality to work. I really think that's the case. And we'll see if that's what Matt LaFleur thinks as well.
All right, before we get to more calls, so where do you stand on the Wink Martindale idea?
I'm okay. I guess I'm okay with it. Baltimore fired him too, didn't they?
I don't know how that ended exactly.
Something happened
but something,
there. He obviously is. He's a blitzer. He's a aggressive guy. I think that fits what Matt LaFleur is looking for. He obviously had a falling out. The Giants stunk this year. The defense wasn't great except when they played Green Bay. So I think Wink Martindale will be someone that Matt LaFleur takes a long, hard look at and then tries to figure out. I don't know his personality. He seems like he's got a good personality. He's got a little bit of swagger to him. So he would be someone that I would definitely take a look at, and if it's the right fit for what you're trying to do, I'd have no problem if that was the guy that they went with.
Let's get to another call. Let's go to Mike in Kendall. Tausch, do you know where Kendall, Wisconsin is? I guess with our international flavor, I shouldn't assume it's Kendall, Wisconsin.
I can confirm it is Kendall, Wisconsin.
Okay. Tausch, where is it?
I'm going to say La Crosse area. I'm going to guess La Crosse.
Mike, is Tausch right?
There. He's on his way there. It goes Elroy, Kendall, Wilton. If you jump on Highway 71.
There you go.
Elroy, Tommy Thompson country. That's Tommy Thompson country.
Tommy's place is up the road from me.
There you go.
Yeah. Good man, by the way. So
good sheepshead player. Pretty good sheepshead player, too.
You've played sheepshead with Tommy Thompson?
I have, yeah. I've played Sheeps every time. He's a calling ace guy.
I want to make sure Mike gets his call in, but this is something we're going to need to discuss.
I'm a euchre guy, so I don't know. First, I got to apologize. I haven't been able to listen to the whole show because I do have to work occasionally. But I love the Rex Ryan. I love the Rex Ryan, Jimmy Leonard thing, and I honestly think that we need to make a splash, and that if that could ever happen, that'd be huge. So you bring in Rex Ryan. He's his own entity, basically. Jimmy Leonard, this helps him kind of get into the NFL and see the big picture, and eventually maybe he works into your DC. So if that happened, that's cool. But so then, in order to get Rex Ryan's point across, do you bring in a veteran linebacker to lead your team, to basically be your eyes on the field, linebacker and safety, two positions we could use anyway?
You definitely.
That's kind of my question to you
that
guys.
has been those two positions are definitely issues. Tausch, what do you say?
Not linebacker. I want youth. I want molding. I want Quay to evolve into that. Safety, I want a veteran. I want a Buddha. I want someone that's going to come in and be a
Micah Hyde?
No, Micah's time is, I think, winding down. Micah's thinking about retiring.
I believe
and
he is,
anytime guys are thinking about retiring, I don't,
I've heard
I'm
that
not
from
as
you.
intrigued.
All right, let's get one more call.
It's never a good fit.
Let's get one more call in, and then we'll wrap things up on the other side with our final thoughts. Let's go to Alan in Milwaukee. Alan, thanks for holding on. What do you got for us, buddy?
Hey, how's it going, y'all?
Good. How are you?
I would actually stay away from Rex Ryan and people on TV because unless they've been separated for a year, because it's once you start sipping on that overtime pay for part-time work tea, why would you trade that in for overtime hours and part-time pay?
That's a good point.
Plus,
That's a good point.
Plus, he's a grandfather. So 2 weeks in of working all-nighters and missing grandparent events, his mind's going to be elsewhere. So
Alan, who do you want?
If he's human,
who do you want?
I would just go all in and back up the truck at Jimmy Leonard and say, man, what do you want? Like what vacation schedule do you want? What office perks? What you want coffee machines and pool tables? Whatever you want. What do you want to come coach the defense over here?
Yeah. Look, you can't deny his track record with the Badgers, and it's not like he's just a college guy. He played 12 years in the NFL. He played in really good systems. I just think that he would be a fantastic choice. But again, I don't think Matt LaFleur is a grudge holder, but I do wonder when he had the chance 3 years ago and he chose not to take it, I do wonder how that plays into whatever decision Matt LaFleur would make, even if he's a candidate. And I don't know what Jimmy's in a different place in his life now. Maybe he got a taste of being a college head coach, and he does want to do that. I don't know. I haven't talked to him in quite a while. So that is a question. What do we got going on the text line, Jesse?
That's fun. This is really fun.
This is Colby in Pittsburgh. The text reads, I happen to live with Jana in Pittsburgh. First-time listener, first-time texting in. She loves your show and tells me she has recently been mentioned. But please tell her she needs to focus on work for now. Feel free to encourage this. Cody in Pittsburgh.
I couldn't disagree. I couldn't disagree more with Colby. Jana has been critical of some of my comments. I absolutely love it. I wish she would have stayed on. I wish we would have gotten to her earlier so she could have spit her truths at us about the Packers
call tomorrow.
season.
She can call tomorrow.
Yes, and Colby
can
get
both
on board.
call tomorrow.
Yes, get on board, download, and you start being a part of this too. This doesn't need to just be Jana. Let's make this the Jana and Colby show from Pittsburgh.
I'm a little intrigued by this is Colby in Pittsburgh. I happen to live with Jana in Pittsburgh.
You want to know the relationship status of Colby?
I'm intrigued.
Could just be a roommate looking out for her well-being.
This is what I'm saying. I'm curious.
Yeah, but are you that invested in a
is.
roommate to make sure they're working right?
Text a radio
there has
show
to be,
about
depends
their...
what
I'm
tier.
guessing
Depends what tier.
it has to be romance there, don't you think, with Colby and Jana?
We'll have to tune in tomorrow when Colby and Jana called the show. Jesse,
interesting.
We'll share our final thoughts as the Packers move on from Joe Barry today. Next, it's Wilde Tausch.
Hey, it's Evan Cohen, UW-Madison class of 2002. Join me, Michelle Smallman, and Super Bowl champion Chris Canty every weekday morning from 5 to 9, right here on 100.5 ESPN and Wisconsin On Demand on Wisconsin.
Julie, you've been here at Pasquale's for a while. What comes to mind when you think of Pasquale's Cantina?
Fun, fresh, local, and the best margaritas in town.
Ah, yes, and that's because we have the largest tequila selection in Madison and the surrounding area. For me, I love that we're Madison's favorite friends and family gathering spot.
That's because of our great customers who have followed Pasquale's over the years. So for me, it's our guests that make Pasquale's Cantina.
Bringing the flavors of the Southwest to the Midwest. Pasquale's Cantina.
Rah. Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin present your Badger Minute. Here's Alex Strofe.
This Badger Minute brought to you by the Great Dane Pub and Brewing Company, Madison's home for craft beer and pub food since 1994. Find the Great Dane nearest you at greatdanepub.com. The 13th-ranked Wisconsin Badgers remain in first place of the Big Ten following a road win Tuesday night at Minnesota. The Badgers are now 7-1 in Big Ten play. Head coach Greg Gard after the game.
I think they told me we had 8 straight stops in a row. They get 1 point on the last 5 possessions and made enough plays down the stretch to be able to finish it off. You know, a lot of good things, some better things defensively than maybe we were the other night.
The Badgers return home this Friday to play host to Michigan State at the Kohl Center. Tip-off set for 7 o'clock Friday.
Badger Minutes on ESPN Wisconsin are brought to you by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Schedule an appointment online today at PellaWI.com.
They say love is a universal language. Well, that's definitely true if you're talking about bacon. I mean, who doesn't love bacon? Forget the chocolates. Give the gift of bacon. It's everyone's love language. And you're going to love it that our bacon's on sale right now. With quick hot savings, we're taking bacon down to $2.49 a 12-ounce pack. Limit 2. Savings on bacon? Whoa, that's 2 love languages at once. And we're multilingual like that. Quick Trip. We're saving your bacon.
Ever wonder how the best athletes find the power to jump higher, cut quicker, skate smoother, drive farther, and stick the landing? At Prevea Orthopedics in Green Bay, we know power starts with the hips. That's why Dr. Michael Ryan and our team of experts provide comprehensive and advanced expertise in hip care, unlike anywhere else. Come to Prevea Orthopedics and Sports Medicine, where we can preserve your hips so you can pursue your goals. Prevea Orthopedics, specializing in you.
Ben Brust here to tell you about the Princeton Club. I joined the Princeton Club because I was looking for a place I could invest in my health, and the environment and the community I have felt has made it so easy for me to incorporate it into my everyday life. It doesn't matter where you're at in your fitness journey because they have something to offer everyone. It also goes beyond fitness. From the moment you walk in the club to the moment you walk out, there is a togetherness felt throughout the members and staff that keeps you going for your better tomorrow. Don't wait any longer and get started on your fitness journey today at PrincetonClub.net. That's PrincetonClub.net.
Since 1956, Holman Lindsay Paints has been making paint in Wisconsin for Wisconsin. Because of their commitment to making great paint for Wisconsinites, Holman Lindsay has grown over the years to 26 locations in this great state. Headquarters in Sun Prairie with a state-of-the-art facility, Holman Lindsay has the paint you need to make your job better. From do-it-yourself to professional, Holman Lindsay has paint for everyone. Visit one of their local locations today in Madison, Sun Prairie, Middleton, and Janesville.
One call, that's all. It's not just a slogan, but a way of life at Gruber Law Offices. If you've been injured, call our team today. We've represented tens of thousands of injured Wisconsinites for well over 30 years. Trust Wisconsin's own Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
The Milwaukee Bucks, the Cleveland Cavaliers.
Works it to the corner at the horn. The three from Lopez finds the bottom of the net.
Tonight on Madison's home of the Bucks, 100.5 ESPN.
Tausch, we've only got a minute left. We did get to all the calls, though. I'm happy about that. Your final thoughts as the Packers fire Joe Barry and begin the search for a new defensive coordinator.
Yeah, I think it was the right move at this time because you just saw too many inconsistencies, and I think you could do more. And I think that's what Matt LaFleur is looking at. He wants the scheme to be a little bit different. He wants a more aggressive mentality, and that's not what he was getting from his current defensive coordinator for a while. This lets you know this is all about winning. And so Matt LaFleur's got some tough decisions. He's got to get this right. This will be a critical part of whether or not this team can continue to improve and take that next step of winning a championship.
That's it for us today. We will do it again tomorrow. We'll see if Colby and Jana join us at some point during the program. Thanks for coming along for the ride with us today. Have a great day. Take care. Be good.
Miss any of today's episode of Wilde Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin? Commercial-free full show podcasts are available free on Wisconsin On Demand.